Of contrasting styles are ready to face off in today's NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championships. The Orangemen of Syracuse are a proven, powerful offensive scoring machine. If you could stop their big guns, they'd fill up the net with their 6 shooters. Their tournament success stems from a flashy, in-your-face offense and a close defense with an attitude. The 4th-seeded Terrapins of Maryland upset the #1 seed with aggressive play, emotional coaching, and a sensational goaltender. A repeat performance could give the hometown fans their first title in 20 years and plenty to cheer about. We're at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Maryland for the NCAA's 25th anniversary Lacrosse Championships. Today, the Division I Finals. The Maryland Terrapins against the Orangemen from Syracuse. Hi everybody, I'm Lee Felsmo, joined by 4-time All-American Quint Kesenick. This should be an exciting matchup. And Quint, when you boil it down to its simplest form, you're talking about big defense on Maryland, big offense on Syracuse.
And it looks like Maryland's defense might be able to neutralize Syracuse's offense. If that's the case, look for midfield play between the lines to be the difference. Face-offs, especially crucial in a championship game, as is goaltending.
Let's take a look at the Maryland team first. They pride themselves on defense, but they have guys that can score, especially Rob Chomo, their senior leader in that department.
Yeah, senior Rob Chomo, 104 assists on his career. He's done a great job this season bringing the 2 freshman attackers, Whipple and Hahn, along. Here he scores the goal on the far side against Hopkins in the semifinals. Kip Folks at the midfield, 27 goals this season. He's got blinding speed. When he goes to the goal, he's going to score. You've got to stop him. You've got to force him to his weak hands. Watch the velocity on this shot against Hopkins. Off of the goalie's face mask, that ball is traveling about 90 miles an hour. And on defense, Dan Radabaugh, potential first-team All-American, did a tremendous job in the semifinals, neutralizing Brian Picola of Hopkins. He plays a very physical style defense, body on body.
Now, of course, when you talk about Syracuse, you talk about offense. They have a history of it, but they are leaning on a freshman, a big guy on the offensive end.
Superstar in the making, Casey Powell from Carthage, New York. His statistics speak for himself. This guy is the total package. Here he scores against Virginia in the semifinals. 3 goals, 4 assists in that game. He has stepped up. At the midfield, Roy Colsey, 35 goals this season. First-team All-American 2 years in a row. Here he scores. He can run through you, he can run around you, and he is the inspirational leader of this Syracuse Orange. And the defensive trio, Rick Beardsley, Chad Smith, Hans Schmidt, 3 All-Americans on the same starting defense. They ignite the Syracuse transition attack. They get it going. They set the tempo for Syracuse.
Well, Quint, throughout the game, we'll be able to go to our third partner, Christy Lee, on the sidelines.
Well, you know, Maryland has not been here since 1979. They lost that championship game to Johns Hopkins. They're playing with a lot of emotion, and they have the home field advantage. Syracuse, they're no surprise. They've been in the Final Four 13 straight years. They've made 8 trips to the championship game. They've taken home 5 national titles. Now, will Coach Roy Simmons take home his 6th ring, or will Coach from Maryland, Dickie Dell, take home his very first? We're going to find out coming up.
All right, Christy, Quint and I will be back to look at the goalies and then take a look at the opening face-off. This NCAA 25th Anniversary Lacrosse production is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by new wax packs. Just add it to soap and water and wax your car while you wash it.
I'm back.
Give me the thing. Give me the thing right there. Nike copy. Today's lacrosse championships are brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. We're back at Byrd Stadium, College Park, Maryland. Lee Felsmo, Quentin Kesson, and Christy Lee's on the sideline. Look at the crowd coming in, threatening the 24,000 record crowd. Let's take a look at the goalies. Doherty is going to be a huge factor in this game.
Oh, he's the story from Maryland. He had 12 first-quarter saves in the semifinals. He set the tone for Maryland. He works off of the crowd. He's a very emotional player, and his teammates build confidence when he plays well.
Rozier is maybe underrated. He was sensational in the semis.
Alex Rozier for Syracuse right there. He's a large goalie, about 195 pounds. He has done very well, very consistent, 60%. He's nice out of the cage. He throws some fine outlet passes. They just need a steady game for Alex Rozier. Maryland needs an outstanding game from Doherty.
Maryland leads the series, but they haven't played in recent history, folks. Number 8 for Maryland in the red is John Brothers. In the white jersey for Syracuse, Toby Price. There are your colors, red and black, Maryland, white and blue. Syracuse not wearing their familiar orange.
It's going to be a loose ball push against Syracuse, so Maryland will go on offense. Over the course of this game, keep your eye on the face-off battle. It'll be Brothers for Maryland against Price for Syracuse.
Possession's critical when you want to really slow the tempo down like Maryland does. They'll go to the hoop, no question about it. But they like to control the tempo. Big defense against young freshman attacking for Maryland. Now they get it out to the midfield. You'll see a lot originate from there. That's Nealon, their senior co-captain.
Maryland's going to attack from the midfielders. They want to avoid Beardsley, Smith, and Schmid, the close defense for Syracuse.
Nealon comes in, almost gets a shot. Cummings applying defense. Foul on Cummings. They'll get a free shot. Defense knocks it down. Good play by Chad Smith, 43. Came into the scene, took away the feed from Nealon.
Nealon's tough to cover. He's kind of bulky. Number 15 from Maryland. He likes his right hand. Coach Roy Simmons in his 25th year here. Syracuse has only had 3 coaches in their entire coaching history. His father coached at Syracuse for 40 years. And Coach Dick Adell for Maryland, looking for his first national championship. Maryland in the finals, first time since 1979.
And Adell in the finals for the first time, period. He was in a soccer final, coached soccer at the University of Baltimore years ago before he went to Army, then to Maryland. Here is Maryland going into a rotation. They start with that heavy right-handed shot, and they get first blood. Bullen, number 12 with the right-handed rocket.
Charles Bullen, and he can light it up. Watch the velocity behind this shot. He is a man-up specialist. This is the only role he plays for this Maryland team. He comes in off the bench during their extra man unit. Here he is. You give this kid this kind of time and room, and he is going to stick it. That time being Rozier over the near shoulder. This kid can light it up 90 miles an hour or better, all from the wrists.
Syracuse with a lot of flash on offense. Maryland, maybe I think from the Final Four experience, the best opportunistic shooting. They don't take many bad shots. And they get the face-off. Brothers comes up with it. Trying to get inside. They lose it for a moment. Here comes Syracuse. Transition play. Chad Smith looking. He'll take a shot if he gets a chance. Smith being double-teamed. And the ball goes back down the turf. And the Terps turn it around. Great double team by Reese.
Got a whistle after the play. It's going to be a push against Maryland. Smith had a teammate open. He had Price on the far side. They were working a 5-on-4. Watch the double-teaming defense. You can see in the background, number 12 for Syracuse. He's wide open. Smith has got to give that up. That's the push right there by Evans. Maryland, a very scrappy team. They are not afraid to challenge the loose balls.
Evans and Reese, the double team, but Syracuse gets it back. Let's see if Kavlovich, his brother, played here at Maryland. He's got possession. Try to beat Casey Power, Quint, right on the crease.
Looking inside. Kavlovich really the quarterback from behind the goal. He'll be covered by Elfstrom, their ex-high school teammates.
Matchups now showing themselves. Look at Syracuse trying to bring it right into the crease. And here comes Elfstrom. Giving it up. Watch the fast break. Evans, he's got speed. He's got Whipple. Down to the big shot. Hahn. No. Hahn was wrapped up by Beardsley. Hesitated for a moment. So far, Maryland put in 2 pretty good shots. They connected with 1. They still have possession. 1-0 so far early in the game. Maryland leads.
Hahn has got a nose for the goal. 32 goals in his freshman season. And Whipple, the other attacker, number 1 for Maryland, the ACC Rookie of the Year.
Both freshmen. Hahn's the only guy, Quint, that didn't start all 14 games this year. Backdoor, Hahn can't put it through. It was a redirect. He just missed it. You know, there's been some rain this weekend. Quint, how is the field?
The field's slick, and we've seen players this weekend have some problems with the Chomo on that last play, had some problems. It's okay around the cages, but when you get into the lower corners, because the crown of the field, the water drains generally towards the sidelines, it's a little more slick.
So a lot of pressure on Rozier early on. Syracuse now brings it back. Here's Colton, everybody's candidate for Player of the Year. He is a stud at midfield. Left-handed shot. Big save by Doherty for his first block. Gavrovic gets control. Colsey again. Ostron tries to go across crease to Sullivan. Maryland knocks it down, but Syracuse gets possession.
Graham Nemi with some nice stick work, deflecting that ball out of bounds. Doherty with the first save. It's so crucial as a goaltender to get the first save. There it is. Nemi has his stick in the passing lane. That's one of the reasons why defensive players use that 6-foot-long shaft.
Gavrovic controls behind now. Giving it out front. Syracuse working it very carefully. Marcy. Syracuse showed uncommon patience in their semifinal game. Playing Virginia. Colsey. So hard to get the stick from him. Doesn't look big, but he plays huge. Ball knocked down. Finally put on the surface by Nemi. Nemi, the young kid, played Colsey perfectly. Here comes Maryland. They can get the fast break going. Bonani. Back into the center of the field. Oh, the give and go by Chomo. He couldn't bring it back. Hans Schmidt. Beardsley, they're all there. Big hit by Nalen. That's the kind of Maryland hits that you can expect.
You can see the hustle by Maryland. There were more red jerseys on that portion of the field than there were white. That is a signature. Take a look at the hits here. Physical style. Liccamelli gets decked by Nealon. And here's Hahn. Hahn will step on the line, so Syracuse will control. Nealon, no stranger to physical play. He likes to scrap, very intense. And Dick Adele's teams generally at Maryland play that style of lacrosse.
He loves that style. He loves big-hearted players. He wants you to go 100%, bring it to you physically, and he does get that effort out of his players. Chad Smith having a tough time on the far side. Transfer from Army, now has control. This long stick unit, all All-Americans like to take it to the hoop. They can all score. That's why you see the defenseman down there.
They've got the green light also to go coast to coast. You know, a lot of teams, they're coached when the long stick brings the ball over, give it up, get back and play defense. This team, they've got the green light. They can go coast to coast, and they have, and they do with success.
Quint, different look for Casey Powell, number 22 with the ball. Long socks here. He wore short socks in the semifinal. He wore these long socks earlier in the season. He has a different look, I guess, depending on his mood.
That number 22 is a storied number in Syracuse lacrosse tradition. Gary Gate wore 22, and then Charlie Lockwood.
Number 22's been an All-American every year, the last 8 years. Goal! Shot by Cavalry, who comes around and just beats Doherty. He goes low on him. Nobody picked him up on the slide. We've got a 1-1 game.
Well, coming in, you knew Kavit can feed, but he's also proved that he can dodge to the goal. Here he gets a step on Elfstrom, who's overplaying behind the goal, and Doherty comes off the inside pipe. That's a cardinal sin when you're a goaltender. You want to stay on that inside pipe, much like in hockey when a player sneaks from around the back.
Being a left-hander, he probably feels a little cramped with the stick on that left-handed pipe. He came out to use it a little more. Ball goes right underneath him.
Yeah, he slid his body well, but he didn't see the ball. He guessed.
Brothers number 8 facing off. He was huge in the game against Hopkins in the semifinal against one of the best, Jacobs. He nullified him, and here he's doing well in the second face-off for Maryland. Chomo looks immediately into the crease area. Maryland player going off is Brian Reese, long stick from the wing.
Maryland will show patience offensively.
Maryland actually 3 face-offs, none for Syracuse so far.
Maryland likes to set it up with their half-court offense. They like to attack the short sticks. They look for matchups. They specifically target a player on the other team to take to the goal.
And this is a good matchup. Nealon against Toby Price. Toby Price will be facing off all day long. Maryland would like to wear him out.
That's right. They want to keep him on the field as much as possible, take him behind the goal, make him play some defense.
Toby Price's teammate who faces off with him, Signor, had an injury in the semifinal. Broke his wrist. He'll be out. Maryland with a rocket that Rozier pulls down. Great block. Shot by Kent Falks, picked up by Nealon. He's such a heady player. Kent Falks has got a rocket from there. He elects to go behind. Into Whipple. Can't get an angle. No angle for Whipple. He gets smothered by the great defense of Syracuse. Huey had no angle and still tried to put it back in the net.
Nice body control by Whipple. He was running past the cage, managed to stop. Didn't get a shot off. Rozier played his angles perfectly, and the Syracuse defense converged on him. You can see how Maryland, offensively, they look to draw the double team and then move it to their open teammate. That time, it was very successful, although the angle shot didn't have enough there to beat Rozier.
Good backdoor cuts, a lot of movement in the crease for Maryland. Now back to Casey Powell and company. Being shadowed by Radeball, the best defenseman from Maryland. This is a key matchup today. Watch this one. 25 against 22. Radeball puts it on the ground. Doherty gets it in the stick, and Maryland comes up successful in this battle.
If Powell's going to have success, he's got to use his quickness and speed. You're not going to dodge through Radeball. You're going to have to go around him.
Kip Fulks with a little bit of space. Watch him accelerate. Fulks, number 13. He can shoot. And a great save by Rozier. Ball still loose, out in front. Maryland trying to get possession, and a push call here with a loose ball. But a guess on Syracuse. Goes back to Maryland.
You could see the blinding speed of Kip Fulks there, getting the ground ball and accelerating past Roy Colsey, who's perhaps the best midfielder in the country. So that gives you an indication. 4.40 speed for Kip Fulks of Maryland.
About halfway through the first quarter, the game tied at 1. Maryland scored first before Cavett answered for Syracuse. All the way to the back door for this one. Todd Evans can't. No, he finally pulls it down. Look at the great defensive work by Hans Schmid. Schmid gets help defensively by Kochopoulos, number 27. These loose balls are key. Let's see if Maryland starts decking people. Syracuse really put 3 hits on Maryland.
Mike Wittick's going to be called for the push here. Not a very smart play. That's a blatant pushing violation from behind. Maryland controls.
Syracuse, though, Q, have shown that they are ready to make some contact, too. They are not backing down. Very physical team when they want to be.
Oh, they will throw the lumber or titanium. These shafts are made of titanium. They're not afraid to play intense physical defense.
Big check by Chad Smith. Took it right out of Whipple's stick. Whipple, the freshman. Smith, the veteran. Here comes Smith. He can shoot. He will. And a big block by Doherty. Now, Smith is caught down on this end of the field. Field could be burned, but Syracuse gets possession. Half of it races it down. That's the run and gun style that is so trademarked, reminiscent of the offense over the last 10 years for Syracuse. Anybody has the green light to go to the goal.
Doherty looks sharp. That was a tough save, especially coming out of that long stick. It's often deceptive. The ball tends to come out at different angles, but he was up to the task.
Morrissey now. LaChapelle gets it to the front. Good cut by Mark Fietta. Number 9, watch him in the white jersey for Syracuse. Morrissey now behind the Cavett. Cavett likes to be behind, controlling from there. Very heavy feeder of the young guys. The freshman came and really made an impact last year. Being pushed around by Elston.
This is Liccamelli, 4 goals in the semifinals against Virginia. Nick Liccamelli, player coming into that game, only had 12 on the season. Career game. If Syracuse is going to have success, they need to have scoring from some of their complementary midfielders.
LaChapelle with the check, penalty. Ball finally hits the grass, so Syracuse will go man up for the first time. Let's take a look at these two teams and how they stack up.
Goals per game, Syracuse with a little advantage there. Shots per game, again, Syracuse with the advantage. Goals allowed, Maryland with the advantage. Face-offs even, and extra man. Look at the Syracuse, 46% on extra man. They'll have an opportunity right here to get their second goal on an extra man. Watch LaChapelle. He'll draw the foul here. It's a beautiful check. Actually, the foul was prior to that check. That's called a back brain slap.
Syracuse now got a high-powered offense that scores 1 out of every 2 chances on average. They go back to a 1-3-2 now in a rotation. Colsey sliding through, trying to draw defense, sucking up into the middle. Working Cabinet on the one side, around to Morrissey. Got him up top. He's going to want to have the left-hander shoot. But there's a right-handed shot and a goal. Well, the word was left-hander shoot for the left-handed goalie, but a beautiful shot and a goal by number 19.
Carcaterra, sophomore from Yorktown High School. He's an extra man specialist. We've seen Bolin score for Maryland. Well, Carcaterra plays the same role. He's just a tremendous shooter. He's got 13 goals on the season. Time and room, and you can see Doherty a little confused on this. There might have been a little screen here as the Maryland defenseman rushed out to cover Carcaterra. I think he used him as a screen. 14 on the season. That's his role. Carcaterra comes in off the bench, takes a couple shots every game, and that's what he's good at. He's got an outstanding shooting percentage, 54% on the season.
Just got a little bit better. 2-1, Syracuse leads. You notice the Maryland defenseman that was in the hole on that ducking on that shot was so hard. Maybe had a chance to block it, but the velocity was so scary, he had to duck down. Here comes the face-off. Doherty picks it right up. Beautiful job by Toby Price to get the face-off. First one of the day for them, and then to take it down and threaten Doherty.
in the semifinal game, Dave Signor, a midfielder for Syracuse, was injured. So Toby Price is not going to be spelled by any other teammates. He better watch his energy. We've seen him on the field quite a bit. That could provide an advantage really for Maryland in the late stages of this game.
That's not the other problem with theirs. That's not the first man they've lost in that position.
No, Jeff Schussler actually mid-season tore his knee up pretty good against Hobart. So they're without two of their top 3 face-off specialists.
Sid Falks had the ball out front against Paul Sullivan, short stick. That's a good matchup, but he gives it up. Now, they're electing Syracuse is to go short stick on Neal and Falks. That is really a challenge. Shot, he closed off the iron. Wide open was Mike Crawford. Nalen gave it to him very quickly, and he was wide open on the wing. Nobody played him, and he redirects that one, hits the iron.
Coach Adele substituting early for Maryland. Crawford seeing some action. We'll see Hillgartner, number 43, who had such a tremendous game in the semifinals, but there he is on the sideline with his offensive coordinator, Scott Marr.
Topless now, the long stick on Falks. So they put a long stick on Falks after the whistle. Maryland controlling, being very deliberate. DeAndrea now with the ball, number 44. He's got a short stick against him.
The matchup they want here is Nealon against Cummings. This is not the matchup right there with DeAndrea. DeAndrea doesn't have the speed to get by Whittick.
Behind now Chomo, the veteran. Beardsley, the best guy, takeaway man, working in a big save. Rozier just gobbled it up. Here comes Hughes. Cummings against Falks, doesn't have a break, so Cummings goes off the field, fresh legs on. Cummings stays on, so does Neal, and they'll be a little bit tired. Let's see if they isolate defensively on them.
Rozier plays such solid angle play. That time he took that one off the chest and then caught it. That's his best skill.
Defenseman came in. Beardsley made like he was going out wide open in the middle of the field as a defenseman. They couldn't see him. Now something to be open. There he is. Beardsley went down. They faked like the defenseman was going off. Nealon followed him to the sideline, and Beardsley just came right down the middle. Nobody was on him. Great play by Syracuse. Didn't get the goal. Ball takes it out of the freshman's hand. Number 1 defenseman against the number 1 attackman. Pro-Maryland crowd, as you might expect. Loving the work of Ball.
Ball getting the best of Powell right now.
He just stripped him.
Twice now we've seen Ball take the ball away from the freshman. Powell has got to move as much as possible. He's standing still. He's giving Ball the opportunity to throw his vast array of checks.
On Schmidt against Crawford. Crawford tries to get in position to shoot. He's into the crease area. They get it right back to Rozier. And here comes Syracuse. 2-1 lead. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Lee Felsmo, Quint Kesnick, Christie Lee's on the sideline. Division I final for NCAA lacrosse. Kalavit controls. Syracuse has shown a lot of dimension in these Final Four format. Against Virginia, they showed a very patient offense. Dockery with an easy block. He didn't get possession. Watch out. Trouble. He's up by himself. He's got to get rid of it. And he's knocked out of bounds. He didn't really have any help. He elected to take it out. NHL action continues Thursday night on ESPN when the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Detroit Red Wings in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Catch all the excitement 7:30 Thursday night on ESPN.
Doherty is very good out of the cage. Sometimes he makes poor decisions. That time he should have circled and tried to find a teammate. Nice job by Syracuse there, taking the correct angle and forcing man out of bounds.
Good check from behind by Maryland to get the ball back down the ground. That was Reese. Syracuse, great speed, picks it back up. Paul Sullivan, far side to Colsey. Penalty on the play. Syracuse can't believe it. It's going to be something loose ball against Syracuse.
Actually, the foul's going to be against Maryland. What Syracuse is angry about is that the whistle was blown. Exactly. Right. Liccamelli scooped the ball up the ground, off the turf, and then the whistle was blown. Syracuse had a little transition going there. They had a fast break opportunity. Take a look at some of the coaching action going on. Coach Adele, tremendous job this year. Maryland came into the season ranked 8th. A lot of people thought that was an over-ranking, and yet they've surprised everyone this season. Solid all along, playing their best ball now in the playoffs.
They were only 7-6 last year. This year, a chance to win it all. Each team has had one opportunity on extra man. Each team has scored on that opportunity. This is the second chance for Syracuse. They lead by 1. Backdoor, Morrissey just misses an open target. And chased out of bounds by Maryland. They get possession. Brian Reese with great speed.
Nice hustle by Reese. Doherty fortunate that Morrissey missed the cage. It's typical Syracuse man-up offense where they work one side, kick it to the backside where they've got a 2-on-1. Morrissey does not miss many of those He does not miss many of those from that angle. And offensively, that's really a cardinal sin not to back up that shot, especially on man up.
You've got an advantage speed-wise. At least you know it's coming. You see it. You've got to get back there. Here comes Syracuse. Maryland having a tough time, Quint, getting the clear. They've got to really tighten up their clearing. Watch out. Inside Doherty with a huge block. Open shot right in his face by Cummings. But again, Syracuse gets it back. They've had a lot of minutes on offense. Teams at even strength.
Wittick's primarily a defensive specialist. He will stay on occasionally and play offense. He had a goal in the semifinals. Now he'll substitute out of the box. Again, another defensive player who has the green light to go to the cage if the opportunity arises.
Well, Cole is on the field. He wanted the ball right away. Let's see what he does as he gets matched up against LaChapelle. LaChapelle sliding up the play. Colby gets room, double team. Somebody's open on the backside. They move it up top. Hard shot from Fietta. They're giving Doherty a lot of credit. They know he's good, so Quint, they're shooting some real fine shots toward the outside of the goal.
Yeah, they are being a little fine. When you know you're playing against a solid goaltender, you tend to aim for the pipes, aim for the corners. They don't want to give him any confidence.
Cummings will control the ball, going against the short stick defense of Benani. Good check. Made that shot totally ineffective. Easy pickup for Doherty. Now here's where they've got to really tighten their game up. They have not cleared very well. Syracuse rides them hard, and more often than not, they've been losing possessions on these clear. Ball down again. It's going to kill Maryland if they can't get the ball into their attack zone.
Flag down behind the play. Syracuse doing an excellent job riding the Maryland clear. We haven't seen Maryland play offense in about the last 3 minutes. Take a look at the replay. That's a late hit right there, right in front of the official and the Syracuse bench. It's a 1-minute violation. Not exactly what you want if you're a fan of Maryland lacrosse. You're down by a goal. You play defense now for the last 5 minutes, and you have to kill off another penalty.
And of course, they shoot about 46% is their number, so that's 1 out of every 2 chances, and they've done just that. They've had 2 chances. They've scored once. They'll probably hold on to the ball because there's only 9 seconds left in the quarter. If they hold the ball, if it's not in the air, they will have possession when the second quarter starts.
The physical play of Maryland at times pays off. They get a lot of ground balls, but at times it can hurt. They hurt themselves with some of those penalties. We'll see here in the second quarter.
All right, 2-1. Syracuse with a slim lead against the great defense of Maryland. When we come back, it'll be an extra man play as we start the second quarter. The attack's got to come down and help them out. They're not getting any help right here.
None.
Maryland basketball. Oh. Yeah. I learned some things.
Syracuse steal, Maryland save. Yeah.
Maryland's pace here. Low scoring.
State flag of Maryland flying high over Bird Stadium, the 25th anniversary season for NCAA lacrosse. And what a weekend it's been. Record crowds in the semifinals. Maybe a record today. Look at the takeaway for Syracuse G.
Fotopoulos challenging every inch of real estate, creates the turnover, and now Syracuse is into their up-tempo transition game. This is Morrissey on the near side.
This is a replay of earlier on. This is showing you some great stop and great defense in transition.
Exactly. Doherty making the save there for Maryland. He's got 6 saves.
Now we're back to live action as we start the second quarter. This will be the third extra man opportunity for Syracuse. They're 1 for 2 coming into this one. Maryland controlling the tempo cue, but they're not going to win the game unless they get more minutes on the other end.
Exactly. They're playing too much defense. Anytime you do that against a Syracuse squad, they're going to score a goal.
Starting the 1-3-2. Powell now works himself behind. There's the ball to Powell. He pushes in to get the defensive attention. Rocket shot goes wide. That was the one that really hit last time. Carcaterra scored on that shot.
Carcaterra is strictly a shooter. His high school stats, in high school at Yorktown, he had 90 goals and 4 assists. So that gives you an indication. He's not looking to feed. He's looking to stick the back of the goal.
Don Desco, assistant coach, said they'd be looking for the left-handed shot. He was kidding us because the first 2 shots have been to the right-handed side against the left-handed goalie. Here he comes, Doherty. They've got to clear better to have a chance to win this game. This looks easy. Middle of the field, somebody wide open. Here it comes. This could be a shot against Rozier. Big save. Ball stuck in his stick. Team's all even. That was a chance. He put that one on the ground. It's hard to read. They put it right in his chest.
Especially on a wet grass field, the ball skims. Poor shooting by Maryland, I think, has plagued him early. Rozier is solid in the cage, but the good shot will go.
He's not moving anywhere. If you hit him, he's going to make the save.
Exactly. They've hit him in the chest 3 or 4 times. Make him move, shoot towards the outer sides. Take a look at the first quarter stats. Shots, decided advantage for Syracuse. Ground balls about even. Face-offs, Maryland winning the face-offs, but they are losing the time of possession battle, and that'll pay off. It's more tiring to play defense than it is to play offense.
I don't think they can ask this much from Doherty for 4 straight quarters. They've got to put more minutes down on this end. And again, the shooting selection, if it improves, they have a chance to beat Rozier. Rozier had a shaky playoff last year, but that was his first shot at it. This year, the team really believes, and he does too, that he's the man enough to do the job. Fulks takes the rocket well over the goal. Whipple backs it up. Whipple number 1, one of the freshmen who looked at Kip Fulks.
Honorable mention, All-American last season. Fulks transferred from Essex Community College. Really not recruited very much out of high school, but he's emerged, improved athletically, and as a lacrosse player, stick skill-wise.
Maryland does not get a good chance to beat Rozier. They give it up again. Here comes Syracuse, leading by 1. They continue to put minutes on the board in the offensive end. Maryland asks a lot. They throw that one away. Bad pass by Syracuse. They came down, and Chad Smith just missed Morrissey.
Yeah, Morrissey's got to swing closer for a flip pass there, or they got to communicate better. Roy Simmons on the sideline looking for his 6th national championship. He owns all the coaching records. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Little talk in the paper this morning about he possibly retiring after this year. Don't know if that's to be taken seriously, but he certainly has the record books filled with great pages of memories. 5 championships.
And one of the most interesting coaches in all of sports. The guy, a little eccentric, but always a story around Roy Simmons.
Great shot inside. And it blocked around the feet of Rozier. They couldn't really get a clean shot off. And right away, Syracuse brings it back. Pushing hard. Fotopoulos gets it back. Fotopoulos stays down. And here comes Beardsley. 2 long sticks players down there. 2 defensive players wanting the ball. Shot by Whittick was not much of a test for Doherty. He's in trouble. He's out of the crease. Flips it up. Watch out. Kip Fulks can't get it cleanly. Morrissey does.
Nice hustle by Morrissey. He was behind the goal when that play started. Swung all the way up top and got the ground ball.
Good feed at the far side. Watch out. Fotopoulos is being caught down the long sticks. In the crease on Casey Powell. No. In and out.
Elkstrom caught the ball out of the crease, and as a defenseman, when you get possession out, you're not allowed to step in. He did. He gathered that rebound. Watch the save here. Keep your eye on the rebound right here. Elkstrom will catch it, and he'll step. Actually, I didn't see him step in there, but the official had a better angle.
Well, maybe he didn't, because it didn't look like he stepped into me. We had a pretty good angle on, too. It goes very quick. We're seeing it in replay slow motion. He's not. If he steps in, that was the call. The ball goes the other way. Not a whole lot of transition for Syracuse, but a lot of minutes on the clock, and that'll take its toll. I don't think you can count on Doherty to take this much offense all game long.
Liccamelli with a nice split dodge. He's a predominantly right-handed player. That time he changed it up a little, came back to his left, and Doherty made a fine save. Doherty's a lefty. Sometimes that can be difficult for shooters when they're used to playing against right-handed players. Played his high school ball at the Episcopal Academy near Philadelphia, PA.
Elder, number 38, and McGuire in. Elder now right now with a long stick against Colsey. Colsey wants him. Colsey puts it in the back of the net. Forget it, Syracuse fans on the far side. And here comes Maryland. Big run to see if they get the transition. Chomo looking for a cutter. Great settling influence. Chomo drawing Beardsley as the defenseman, and he is tough. Beardsley matches up well with Chomo because Chomo doesn't have outstanding speed. He cannot run away from the checks of Beardsley. Right now, Beardsley winning that matchup. In close, missed the pipe on the far side. Todd Evans showing good speed. Ball goes out of bounds, but chased out by the Syracuse defense, and Hans Schmidt gets a possession.
Yeah, Hans Schmidt also showing good speed on the far side.
Dick Udell just excited to be here. Obviously wants to win this one, but we've talked about what a surprise it was for Maryland to go this far. This team has done everything perfectly. They don't have as deep a roster as most squads. We talked about the starting 10 Q. Only Hahn was a change. All 9 other guys started every game of the 14 games. Hahn starts the 3rd game and never leaves either.
They know their role on this Maryland team.
Rozier all the way up. Check from behind, and it took a great save by Doherty. Now nobody's in the goal. Can they get the ball back? They cannot. Rozier is out of the goal. He has to go back 100 yards to the other net.
That would have been a first in NCAA Division Final. A goalie going coast to coast for the goal, but Doherty with a spectacular save.
Spectacular save, and Q, the reason he comes in, we'll talk about it in a second. Doherty trying to come in and make another big save. Pavic controlling behind. The reason that goalie comes all the way is that Maryland's giving him, they're coming everybody else and saying, come on up, we don't think you're that good out of the goal, you bring it on up, and he did. Big save by Doherty on Morrissey. Look at him. Doherty's cheering the crowd on, saying, let's go.
This is where it gets dangerous. He feeds off the crowd.
Everything's going well for Maryland except time of possession. If you're a Maryland fan, you need them to have the ball down that end. Udell wants more minutes on the clock in the offensive end. For all the great defense, there's still pressure when the white team has the ball. Syracuse is electric on the offense.
Only 2-1. Coming into this game, it looked as if it would be about a 15-14 game, but this is much low scoring than we anticipated.
Double team, ball's on the ground. Can they get it? Started with Elfstrom double teaming.
The ball was loose. Pushing violation against Maryland. So all the little calls going against Maryland. The home crowd here. Actually, it's not a home crowd, but it is a home crowd.
Home state crowd for sure, and that's definitely pays some dividends. Syracuse has a great group of fans. Nobody better than the Syracuse group as fans, as patient as they are, as avid as they are, and determined to stay with their team. They bust down here from upstate New York and tailgate, spend the whole weekend at the championship weekend. Syracuse again gets another possession. This is going to take its toll, obviously, if it keeps up being so lopsided time of possession. No goals in almost 12 minutes of this game. We're about 9 minutes left in the first half. Double team by Maryland. They're trying to get something going. The ball on the ground. Now they're in trouble. Colsey's got it. He looks up front. Colsey pushing in. He's double teamed by Doherty between the legs. Now if they get out, there'll be a fast break. No, they slow down. Doherty gives it off to the wing. Ready the ball.
That's not the time for a one-handed between-the-legs shot right there by Roy Colsey. Not in a tight national championship game. No way.
Great move for Colsey to drive the right side, but if he took a great shot there, he would have been in good shape. Don't forget, ESPN's got great baseball Wednesday night, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment. But right now, let's take a break. We'll come back to our game. 2-1, Syracuse leading, 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Do we have any assist numbers? Any assist numbers?
Assist?
Yeah, show us this one-handed shot. This is ridiculous. Oh, he gets in his face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he waves everybody down. Oh, he says, yeah, get that shit going.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that, baby.
Show me a question.
coming back with that replay?
Syracuse leads 2-1. Goalies are a big part of today's game.
This is Rozier for Syracuse earlier, taking the ball coast to coast. Maryland really gave him the center of the field. They say, hey, Alex Rozier, go down and score a goal, and he almost does. Watch the save now by Doherty, right there. You rarely see that. On the opposite end, this is Roy Colsey. Watch this one-handed between the leg shot. The score's 2-1. If he turns and puts two hands on the stick, he can get a great shot, and Doherty says, no way, not today. Get that out of my face.
That's right, maybe against somebody else, folks.
Really not a smart play by Colby.
Well, it was a smart play through 80% of it. And like you said, if he takes a good shot, he's there. Good shot on Rozier. It's a tie game at 2. Maryland taking advantage of every opportunity, putting pressure on Rozier. It's all tied.
Hillgartner, the substitute for Maryland on attack. He's tearing it up in the playoffs. Hillgartner, 2 goals in the quarterfinals against Notre Dame. Against Hopkins, had 3 goals and 1 assist. And here he is, Hillgartner. Nothing fancy, gets it done though. Watch the placement on the shot. He swings up right-handed, turns, not the fastest shot, but down low in the corner. That's a tough save. Those kinds of shots will be successful against Rozier.
And Quentin, that's one of the first where they haven't shot too many, period, and they haven't shot too many low. So you're right, those low shots obviously giving some trouble. It's an unsure footing. It's uneven, it's slick some places, it's thick other places. So the goalie doesn't know how to quite read those bounce shots. Maryland getting the face-off. They've controlled there. They've won 4 out of 5. If they can only get possession, this is where Syracuse has been shining. Syracuse keeps the ball on the ground. They can't find it. Ball locked into somebody's glove.
I think it was stuck in Hahn for Maryland, his glove. It's going to be an illegal touch because he touched it with his hand. So Syracuse will control. He did not touch that intentionally, but the ball just
got stuck in his glove.
Nothing he can do about it.
Didn't even know where it was for a moment. Here comes Syracuse. Toby Price clearing. Getting pushed from behind. Now ragged by the long stick. Look, gets it knocked from behind. Here comes Maryland, but can they clear it? This has been a problem all day. Syracuse ragging them. Boost it up. They're okay. Hillgartner with a smart play to help out. The attack hadn't helped out all day. They did there. Here comes Kip Fox. Inside. Finished it. Matt Hahn, the freshman finisher from the speedster Fox. Maryland leads 3-2.
Maryland, they'll sting you in transition. You make a mistake, they'll sting you. This play started with Elfstrom getting the ball up the field. Here's Folks. He reads this play perfectly. Watch Hahn. Wide open in the middle. Nothing fancy on that shot. High to low between the legs of Rozier. Elfstrom did a great job clearing the ball. Here's the tail end of it. Look at the placement between the legs. Poor Syracuse defense. You've got to make up your mind defensively there whether you're going to play the ball or play Hahn. They did neither. The freshman's got 33 goals, and we've got a delayed penalty coming up against Syracuse.
So there'll be a short one man. You'll see Beardsley go up to take the face off, a long stick in the middle, because they can get possession, Maryland, and go down and have a 6-on-5. If Beardsley, the long stick, gets possession, Simmons a little bit concerned, then Syracuse can take it into their offensive end, and the penalty is over. Syracuse has to get a possession to get out of this penalty. Right now, Maryland leads by 1. They have controlled the faceoff. Let's see if Beardsley can be a big help. You can't leave the box. Nobody can go across that line to possession. Syracuse gets it. Whittick has possession, but now they need to get it all the way back to their offensive zone to release the penalty. Matopoulos being dragged. He has to get in the box. He's not there yet. Now he is. Penalty released. All even. So Syracuse does it when they have to. Timeout called by Syracuse. A possession timeout. Well done by Roy Simmons. Beardsley pulls it out. They get possession, bring it down, release the penalty. The teams will be in even strength. Maryland, 1 goal lead, stunning the Orangemen.
Once again, we have the 71 Cornell game. Remember the 25th anniversary lacrosse game. Please report to the score table at this time. Also a reminder to all of you, there are no pass outs at halftime. We invite you to visit our concession stand and enjoy our favorite food. Also, if you're seated in the upper half of sections 2 through 10, Press to go up and reach the concourse. If you're in the lower half of section 2 through 10, go down and follow the walkway at field level.
Coming back to anything special?
Once again, no pass out.
And we invite you to visit our concession stand during halftime. Thank you for your cooperation.
Don't miss Wednesday night baseball. This Wednesday night doubleheader. Dodgers against the Phillies in Game 1. Yankees against the Mariners in Game 2. It all starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. I tell you what, this could be a record crowd, folks. We're back at Bird Stadium. The record's 24,000 plus for the finals. This could be a record. We maxed this place out 2 days ago in the semis, Quint. It was 30,100 and change. We're getting close to that today.
This place was rocking on Saturday when Maryland upset Johns Hopkins 16-8. They annihilated the undefeated Blue Jays.
Teams at even strength. Watch out, Colsey Rocket. Big save by Doherty. That is the reason, folks, Maryland is so scary. Syracuse hasn't scored in 13 minutes. And it's because of that man.
Yeah, and the key to Doherty's game right there, I don't know if he got that off the stick, but he moves his feet so well in the cage. I think he took it off his right foot.
He's moving it around a little
save. The goal is a big goal. 6 foot by 6 foot. Your stick is not going to get the job done. You've got to slide your body from pipe to pipe.
36 square feet. Your body might take up a little shy of 10 square feet. Try to get in front. Fietta. And Doherty again with a big save. He's got possession. Outlet pass. He's got a lot of save to keep that team in going. Nemi. Hillgartner. Backdoor. Chomo. 4 goals for Maryland.
It all starts with their goalie making the easy save against Fietta. Nice outlet pass to Nemi. Maryland can sting you in the transition. Watch the save. Time and room. He's got time to see the shot coming all the way. Controls his rebound. Here's Nemi inside Hillgartner. Watch the look on the backside. Chomo all alone. A lot of patience by Rob Chomo. Known for his goal-scoring abilities. Look at Rick Beardsley staring at the ball. Cardinals saying defensively, you've got to both see the man with the ball and your man. That time Beardsley got caught staring at Hillgartner. Chomo snuck in behind him.
2-goal lead. The first 2-goal lead for Maryland in this game. First 2-goal lead by anybody. 3 unanswered goals for Maryland. They're down 2-1 to Syracuse. Didn't have much possession time, but that's changing. Another shot off the pipe. Maryland almost made it a 3-goal game. They've got possession. Takeaway artist, the All-Americans. Beardsley right here, getting a little bit antsy, waiting around. Chomo, somebody behind, all by themselves. Hillgartner's by himself. Oh, he couldn't pick it up.
Maryland has scored 3 unanswered goals here, and one of the reasons for it is Hillgartner has come in for Whipple, number 1. So they've taken the freshman out, brought in Hillgartner, who's been the go-to guy. He's been hot in the playoffs, and it's paying off. 3 in a row.
Whipple was a big part of their offense coming into the playoffs. In the big games, maybe not having as much numbers as he did during the season. Hahn's been a great finisher in the big games. Whipple, maybe a little too young, too green. Big shot from Maryland, and Bill Rule not really testing Rozier.
Now, anytime you drop your stick low like that and shoot the ball low, you telegram your shot. That's an easy save for a goalie of Rozier's ability.
Chad Smith usually gets away from Hillgartner. Now Smith will cause some problems down here. Oh, a bounce pass misses. Watch out. Transition for Maryland. Can they move it? Hillgartner will start it. Looks around. Now he tries to force a slide. Syracuse got back beautifully, so they'll settle it down. In the middle, trying to find the crashing Pat McGuire, who came down across the middle and really kind of threw it away. Yeah, another chance for minutes of possession, which would be critical, and they throw the ball away.
Chris Farmer forced that pass inside. Generally, when your team's on a run like that, there's more of a tendency to force the plays. You got to value possession of the ball, especially in a transition game. You can look at Coach Adele letting Farmer have it, saying, be patient. If we don't have the fast break, we don't have the numbers game, be patient. Let's work our offense.
Rozier again coming out of the goal, and nobody's picking him up. This could be trouble. They've got to give him pressure. Big check. Now there's trouble. Nobody in the net for Syracuse on the other end. Crowds on their feet. Can Maryland make it a 3-goal game? No goalie. Roy Colsey's inside. Beardsley picks it off, and they dodge a bullet. 4-on-3 the other way. Beardsley gives it up. Beardsley stays there. Cavalvit rockets one off and wide. Whoa. Roy Colsey, Quint, went into the goal to play goalie. Number 3, the midfielder. He was going to take the shot, and Beardsley picked it off.
The strategy for Maryland is to let Rozier run the ball up the field. That time, it really worked well. You can see how tired he was after that play. And Syracuse counterattacked with a 4-on-3.
Not a bad philosophy. He's more of a football build. Scores from the last 16 minutes plus Syracuse is. So the defense of Maryland really stepping up. They've got to do it 2 days out of 3. They did it against Hopkins. Can they do it against Syracuse? Big check in the middle of the field. Hillgardner, though, comes up. That's been the key to the clearing. Hillgardner coming up in the attack zone and helping out. Earlier, that wasn't happening. 4-on-3. Rozier picks it up. Beautiful anticipation.
Nice outlet pass also. That's one of the strengths of his game. He sees the field very well.
Casey Powell showing speed. Into the middle. Couldn't handle. Cavalcade had an easy shot, possible goal, and couldn't handle the ball. Nealon's going to get a penalty in addition to whatever else happened. And this is going to be costly for Maryland.
This is going to be costly because Maryland's playing very well right now. That game, the transition styles up and back, and you cannot lose your cool here.
I don't know what happened on the front side of that, but you know in sports, the first hit is rarely seen. It's the second hit that's seen.
Watch the replay. You can see Cavalcade get a little antsy. That's not a foul right there. Okay, right there, that is a foul. Any contact to the opponent's helmet, if you got a glove or stick up to the head, referees are cutting back on that. That's an instantaneous foul. They've got to call it.
The problem is the first hit is rarely seen, or sometimes seen, but more often than not, keep fighting. Now the focus is on you. Nealon waited a little too long. All the refs were looking as he made that last contact to the head. This is not the kind of guy that's known for unsportsmanlike plays. He's about as classy as they come. Caught up in the game. And now they're down by, let's see, they'll start one man down. Got 5 guys on the field.
Looks like it's going to be one man down for 2 minutes.
2-minute penalty. Referees have the ability to make it more than 1 minute. You rarely see it, but they did here. Syracuse. They've got 1 goal in 3 attempts. Doherty comes up big. Now they've got to take some time off the clock. Maryland does. Another big save for Doherty. He only has 4 seconds in there. Now he's in trouble. He's got to come out looking for help. Throws it out of bounds. Killing the Maryland squad.
In that situation, Maryland is clearing with 6 players versus 5 for Syracuse. Versus 6 for Syracuse. Man on man. Doherty gets in trouble there. The best thing for him to do probably is to just launch the ball the length of the field, almost like icing in hockey.
Let him fight for it down the other end.
Kill some time.
At the very worst, they've got to bring it down 100 yards to get back into their offense. Syracuse resets into the crease. Big save by Doherty. Picture that of the air. There's your best goalie in Division I lacrosse, making yet another huge save. Syracuse picks it up. This will be tough to save. It goes well wide of the goal. Carcaterra had an easy shot cue. They've had good looks at the goal, but the defense is making the attack think, and they're a little giddy down there. They're a little nervous about the hits.
Exactly. No backup for Syracuse now, costing them possession. The key to Doherty, he's a lefty right there. That Carcaterra shot is a goal on a righty goalie. It's to the off-stick side. Watch the replay now. Look at Carcaterra's shot. Right in the stick of Doherty. You got to put that shot either low or to the off-stick side.
So he's going instincts there against what normally is a right-handed goalie. It doesn't work. This man, Doherty, standing up tall, carrying his team to a 4-2 lead with 2:40 left in the first half.
Still extra man. Maryland's got the ball, but it's still a Syracuse extra man. The ball boys are going at it.
All right.
The ball boys were fighting.
Where?
Watch.
Oh, I don't like that. That's terrible. Doing fine. Feels good. I think it looks good, huh? Okay. We're back at Bird. Maryland leads by 2, and some of the most dramatic moments of the game have happened when Rozier for Syracuse brings the ball all the way up.
Maryland is letting him clear it. That time, Nemi stripped him from behind. Watch Roy Colsey now. There's no goalie for Syracuse. He hops in the net, finds a pipe, steps up. He's ready to make the save. His positioning's a little poor there. Like, he wants to stay a little further back in the goal. I don't think shows some guts, though. I'm sure he's got no protection on. You see Rozier, he's got the chest protector and the throat protector.
Not too many minutes practicing that for Colsey, but he's the gutty guy who leads the team. 16 saves for Maryland, only 7 for Syracuse. Here comes Kip Fulks, but turned away by the tremendous speed of Cummings. So Cummings running step for step with Kip Fulks. They like that match. Teams need even strength now because they got it down to the offensive zone. So Maryland's basic philosophy clearing their cue is to give it to your speedster and let them go. Yeah,
they've been clearing too much with their long stick defense. Give it to your fast guys. Give it to Evans. Give it to Fulks. Make it easy.
Now
there's no science to giving it to your fastest guy.
And plus, Hillgardner coming down has been a big key to them getting successful. The attack coming down to help, giving it to the short stick fast midfielders. That should be the key to success for them. They take their time now. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Maryland with a 2-goal lead, which is a little bit stunning. They come in as the 4th seed. Syracuse the 3rd seed, but they were with Virginia and Hopkins 1, 2, and 3, sometimes 1 in the polls all year long.
Maryland's got to move off the ball better. They're standing around and just watching each other. You've got to occupy defensively.
So going a little bit unnoticed here, Q, is that they had a 2-minute penalty and didn't get any goals from it. Not going to commit a couple big saves. Hillgardner. See if they take the time off the clock. Just saying, no way. I want the ball. Hillgardner gets it checked out. Beardsley picks up the ball. Beardsley wants to go on the offensive end. Let's see how far he takes it. Now he's all by himself. He baits the attack. Ball's down. He's down on the ground. Can they get the ball? Watch out. There's no Beardsley. He's on the other end, but a big check by Whittick. He's still down. Here comes Nealon. This will be trouble for Syracuse. 4-on-3. Fulks. Rocket. And he misses the goal. Backed up by Rozier. Another fast break opportunity, just missing.
Ryan Cummings did a good job hustling back in. Actually made it a 4-on-4. Poor shot selection. Not that the shot was a bad shot, but there's no backup. In that situation, your attacker in front of the cage looking to score a goal, and you shoot, and the goalie's the closest to the end line.
Use all the people when you're 4-on-3. Use everybody. Here comes Syracuse. Fietta, he's got it. Fietta's such a key part of this team's success when they played Virginia. Finally lights it up. It's a 1-goal game with 40 seconds left in the half.
Fietta is a guy who plays big in the big games. 93 when Syracuse won the national title. He had 5 goals in 2 playoff games. This year, he had 3 in the semifinals, and now he's got 1. He's one of the key guys. Poor defense. Exactly. Poor defense by Maryland here. You got to get back to the hole. You got to get open. Credit Beardsley with a nice long pass there. Maryland not hustling back to the hole. Look at Kip Fulks. He's got to be inside playing defense. Fietta finishes in point-blank range.
Tubby Price facing off for Syracuse. Offsides on Maryland. You can't come out of that offensive zone until there's possession. Long sticks are in there for Syracuse. Chad Smith finally gives it up. 30 seconds left, plenty of time for a shot. They could tie this one up. Maryland worked so hard to get the lead. Syracuse can erase that with 1 goal here. Right now, Maryland leads by 1. Closing moments in the first half. Oh, a shot that looked like it was stoppable. Tremendous accuracy by Liccamelli, the new superstar for Syracuse.
Liccamelli continues his hot streak, and the Syracuse fans are loving it. Here's a guy who was cut from the Syracuse team as a freshman. Fought back. Watch the goaltender. He dips his stick. He drops it down low. Liccamelli doesn't have much angle there. You can see Doherty guessing low. He was thinking bounce shot, and Liccamelli just put it over his shoulder. This kid is playing with a lot of confidence, Liccamelli. It seems like everything he throws towards the cage is going in.
Game tied at 4. Seconds winding down. Don't know if they'll have a chance to even shoot again. Toby Price picks it up. They'll get 1 more shot. Here comes Syracuse. Sullivan. Far side. Back to Sullivan. He's got it. 3 seconds left in the half, and Syracuse nails it for the first 1-goal lead. In the last 10 minutes, 3 straight goals for the Orangemen.
2 goals in 13 seconds. They'll take this into the halftime. We got 3 seconds left. Watch Sullivan. He gives the ball up early. He doesn't draw the man. Gives it up early. Cabs it right back to Sullivan. slow slide by Elfstrom, number 22 from Maryland, gives Sullivan that shot. Watch this shot again. Here's Sullivan, time and room, down low. They've had some success against Doherty recently.
You talk about explosion on offense. Maryland had a 2-goal lead with 44 seconds left, and Syracuse goes into the half with a lead.
All the momentum, 3 goals in 41 seconds.
Crowd loves the action. It's a 1-goal game. Syracuse 5-4. They lead. Maryland had gotten the 2-goal lead after patiently taking their time. This game is as close as we expected. Teams going to the locker rooms. We have a great halftime for you when we come back to College Park.
Oh, test. Am I a standalone segment? Okay, out of commercial, back to commercial.
25 years ago, a Cornell team led by Coach Richie Moran completed its season with a 13-1 record. After impressive tournament victories against Brown and Army, Al Rivers scored 6 goals to lead his Big Red team to a 12-6 victory over the Maryland Terrapins. With that, Cornell earned a place in history, the first ever NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship. At this time, we are proud to welcome some of the players and coaches of the 1971 Cornell Lacrosse team. From Brentwood, New York, Pat Gallagher. From Seaford, New York, Bob Buben. From Sanborn, New York, Frank Davis. From Geneva, New York, Bruce Teague. From Manhattan, New York, Bob Rule. From Rochester, New York, Larry Young. From Toronto, Tri-Captain Al Rimmer. From Corning, New York, Tom McHenry. From Baltimore, Bucky Guts. From Lafayette, New York, Tri-Captain Bob Shaw. From Brentwood, New York, Bill Malloy. From Port Washington, New York, Len Bueller. From Ithaca, New York, Bill Reed. From New Hyde Park, New York, Mike Reed. From Seneca Falls, New York, Greg Malott.
Yep. Here we go. We're back at College Park, Maryland at Byrd Stadium. It's halftime at the Division I National Championships. Syracuse with a blistering 3 goals in the last 41 seconds, and they lead 5-4 over the University of Maryland. Joining me, head coach Roy Simmons from the Syracuse Orangemen. Those 3 goals have to have shattered Doherty's confidence going into the second half.
Well, he's too good an athlete for that to be shattered, but we got to him in a hurry when we needed to, and we didn't let him sustain that momentum that they had going. But we're hurting ourselves. My goalie's not shooting well today.
Yeah, I saw that. What is this coast-to-coast goalie thing?
He's got more shots than some of my attackmen.
Yeah, offense any way we can get it, right?
Hey, it's entertainment any way you look at it.
What are you going to say to the guys going into the second half?
Nice job. Let's keep it up. Keep the pressure on the Terrapins. This is their backyard, and I think we all got the jitters out now. And the butterflies are gone, and now we'll get down to business.
Thank you very much. Okay. Coach Roy Simmons from the Syracuse Orangemen. They lead by 1 slim goal, 5-4 at halftime. We have more coming at you from Maryland. Stick around on ESPN.
it's real sick with the pocket. Yeah. Giving away free money at the end zone.
Give me, I have not. Right. Stats and then conversion. How long are we going here?
That's it.
Then go to break.
They don't have a clue about what this is supposed to be.
You want to chat for a while? You want 90 seconds?
This is the silver anniversary.
Yeah, and then they're like trying to critique what happened, like in the little like fights and things that they showed, and then like.
Yeah, the fact is, we're 25 minutes to score. Man, I mean, other than man
10. It's 10 and 15. Oh, no, it's 5 and 15. Yeah, 20.
We're back at Burt Stadium, the Maryland flag flying high and proudly as the NCAA celebrates 25 years of great lacrosse action. And it is just that way today as Maryland takes on Syracuse. Maryland led throughout. And now the Orangemen with a 5-4 lead as they are introducing the 25-year anniversary team, the best of 25 years. And Quentin Kesnick, four-time All-American at Hopkins, a few of the Blue Jays are out there.
Some outstanding players out there. Scott Bacigalupo, last year's goaltender for Princeton, one of the goalies selected.
Well, let's take a look at the first half. This game was really going to the tempo of Maryland. They didn't have much possession, but when they did, they made it count. They had a big lead, a 4-2 lead in a low-scoring game. That's big. And then, in the last 44 seconds, Syracuse took over.
Maryland played such a great second quarter until the last 41 seconds when Syracuse exploded for 3. Mark Fietta got it going for the Syracuse Orange. You know, they're looking to get some scoring from their second and third midfield units, and they did.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights. This is Fietta's goal.
Here's Fietta's goal. He took a feed from Beardsley and beats Doherty low. Really poor defensive work there by Maryland, not getting back into the hole. That was Licamelli, had 4 goals in the semifinals, and he's got 1 today. And this is the last goal. With 3 seconds remaining in the first half, Syracuse getting into their transition game, Kavovit to Sullivan, and Syracuse takes all the momentum into halftime.
And what a break for them because they love the transition, but Maryland's defense really closing him down. Doherty has looked sensational. He did have a rough last minute, but really that was the defense allowing shots to come right in his face.
Doherty has made about 16 saves prior to the end of that second quarter. I don't know what his exact stats are right now, but he's done a tremendous job. Maryland's got to pick it up a little defensively, protect Doherty a little better.
Take a look at the great defense for Maryland. This is Doherty stopping a between-the-legs shot. And Radaball has been their big guy on defense.
Radaball has shut Casey Powell out. Powell, the highly touted freshman out of Carthage, New York. Watch the check right here over the shoulder. Whack right there.
Syracuse defense, though, has 3 All-Americans on there, and they have been an impact.
They've been swarming. This is Hans Schmidt making the takeaway check. We've seen Beardsley play well. We've seen Chad Smith very involved. And look at the physical play by Christian Fototopoulos there, number 27.
We'll be back for more of our halftime in just a moment from Burt Stadium.
Yeah, he's not here yet, but I'm sure he'll make it by then. Unless you want to try to get old Dickie Dell on. I don't think he'll be real happy, though. K-O-P-P-E-L. They want to make sure.
K-O-P-P-E-L.
Yes. Yay! Yes. Okay, how much time? And I throw back to a break, correct? Okay. The Division I National Championships of the NCAA Lacrosse continue for the men from College Park, Maryland, where Syracuse lead the Terrapins 5-4. Joining me at halftime, a very special guest, Ted Koppel from ABC's Nightline. Ted, what brings you here to Byrd Stadium?
Well, I said I'd say it to you, Christy, so I will. I have never seen an entire lacrosse game until Saturday, and I was watching you guys on ESPN, and I thought it was such fun that I thought, hey, it's only a half hour away. So I brought a couple of my kids, and we're up in the stands watching the game. It's a great game.
Now, you do have a bit of an emotional tie to one of these two teams here. You graduated from Syracuse.
I do. I graduated from Syracuse 35 years ago, and about the only thing I really knew about lacrosse until now is that we had one of the all-time greats, Jimmy Brown, who played lacrosse for us back then. But this really is, I mean, it's not brain surgery to figure out the game, and it's a very exciting game.
It is a lot of fun. Did you play any sports while you were an Orangeman?
I did. I played soccer for Syracuse, and but back in those days, if we'd had a crowd like this, we would have thought we'd walked into the wrong stadium.
I think some of these guys are surprised we have a crowd like this. It's a record-setting weekend.
It's amazing. You've got about 35,000 people here, and who would have thunk it, huh, for a lacrosse game?
Well, we're really glad you're in the stands, and I'm sure the Syracuse Orangemen are glad you're on their side.
Thank you. Yeah, they need all the help they can get out here. But I noticed you guys, you know, 1 minute you're over there waiting for the Maryland coach, and 2 goals later, right? You're fickle.
Yes, it is. It's a fickle game, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more fickle activity in the second half.
Terrific. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Ted Koppel has been our special guest. We still have more to come at halftime here at Byrd Stadium. Syracuse leading Maryland 5-4 in the national championship.
He chose to end the game.
Where is she? She doesn't have him yet. There. Here he comes. Tan shirt.
Do I have to talk over that? Do I talk over it? Okay. 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 Team member. The 25th anniversary of NCAA Lacrosse, and you're watching it on ESPN. Syracuse leading Maryland 5-4. It's halftime. We're live at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Maryland. Joining me now at halftime is a 25th anniversary team member, Gary Gate, also a member of 3 championship teams for Syracuse. You have to have some fond memories standing here right now.
Oh, definitely. You know, this is a great place to play, and you know, it's a great opportunity to watch Syracuse and Maryland go at it.
You know what else? You have another interesting connection because you are the assistant coach for the women for Maryland, and they won the NCAA lacrosse title there.
Yeah, they had a great year this year. You know, the team really stepped up and went undefeated and won national championship. Very exciting.
So who are you rooting for?
You know, either way I can't lose, but you know, my old coach, Coach Simmons, taught me a lot about what it takes to win, and you know, you kind of got to back him. So I'm leaning a little that way, but it'd be nice to see Maryland take both men's and women's as well. So either way, we're in.
That's right. It would be a nice sweep. This could be an emotional game, though, for Coach Simmons, because there is some talk that he may retire this summer.
Well, first I heard of it was today, and I hope he doesn't, because he does a lot for the game, and he's one of the unique characters in the game, and keeps the sport interesting. So I hope he sticks with it a few more years.
All right, Gary, thank you very much for joining us at halftime. Well, we have the second half face-off coming at us, and Leaf and Quint will be calling the action. Leaf, back to you.
All right, thank you, Christy. Gary Gate, finest indoor league season he ever had. He was the MVP. Philadelphia Wings won it. If you followed the coverage on ESPN2, it was exciting. First half stats in this game is Maryland tries to climb back from a one-goal deficit. Syracuse leads. How are the numbers?
Look at the shots by Syracuse, 29-18. Ground balls even, face-offs about even, but the saves from Maryland. Doherty has kept Maryland in this game. Extra man opportunities about even. Look at the scoring. We've had a lot of players score one goal apiece. No one in this game has 2 goals. Chomo, Hillgartner, Hahn, and Bullen 1 apiece. And for Syracuse, even scoring again. The 2 leading scorers in that team you don't see on that list. You don't see Powell, you don't see Colsey. They're getting ready to ignite for Syracuse. Kavanovic has been the catalyst.
A lot of offense spread around, and the absence of Colsey does probably cause some concern for Maryland. He is capable of taking over a game. Dickie Dell, first final for him ever.
Maryland was playing a tremendous second quarter. So lightning struck here. Syracuse 3 goals in the last 41 seconds. They had been shut out for the previous 20 minutes.
And historically, Quint, that's what Syracuse will do to you. If you give them a little inch in the middle of the field, they'll start running and really make you pay for it. Brothers, who has won 6 out of 10 faceoffs, gets this one. Ragged by 3 players. He comes up with it. And Chomo will settle down. Beardsley on him.
Brothers, a real tough kid, weaving in and out of traffic right there.
Great ball. He started on the faceoff wing on the offensive end. Long stick, #1 defender.
Both teams are doing that. Chad Smith for Syracuse is stepping up to play on the wing, as is Radabov for Maryland.
Nail double team is in trouble. Here comes Brothers. A little bit of a seam. Gives it off, looking back door. Up top. Goal! Matt Hahn's the first player to get 2 goals. And what a great finisher he is, the freshman.
34 goals on the season. This play started right here with a flip, Nealon getting through the double team. Watch Jonathan Brothers come in now. He could shoot this, he could shoot it, but he's unselfish. He moves it behind the net. Syracuse allowing Maryland to pass the ball around the perimeter. Hillgartner finding Hahn inside. Credit Nealon dealing with the pressure, and credit Brothers with some fine, unselfish play. It ends up in Hahn's stick. He has been money in the bank for Maryland.
Game tied at 5 in the first 40 seconds of the second half. You know, Quint Hahn is very uncannily perfect at being in the right place at the right time. He really knows how to position himself.
He waits for the play to develop. He knows his role is strictly a finisher. Rarely he doesn't get caught away from that crease, so he's always in position to finish.
Nemi being double teamed by Syracuse, and Syracuse comes up with it. Morrissey being ragged by Nemi. Morrissey all the way across. Kavanovic could have finished it, but he couldn't pull it down. A little bit high. You get credit to Nemi there. Nemi kept working Morrissey, The feed was high.
Morrissey has not been sharp for Syracuse. Powell has not been sharp. It's really been a midfield game for Syracuse.
Kip Fulks gets it out there against Whittick. Not a bad matchup for Kip Fulks. Let's see if we can give him some room. He wants it. Whittick rides him out.
Whittick's tough. He plays excellent defense with that short stick. He's one of the outstanding athletes. Only 5'10", 177 pounds. But he plays some tough D.
Nealon against Fietta. Tried to get it back to his teammate, Andrea. Andrea couldn't pick it in. Look how fast Whittick and Syracuse bring it down the other end. Powell was covered closely by Radabov. Powell says, give it to somebody else.
Fatigue will be a factor in the fourth quarter. These teams played on Saturday. They only have 1 day's rest.
Syracuse moving in front and just missed the 6x6. Working defensively on D'Andrea, and then Syracuse backs it up beautifully.
D'Andrea's brother, Rocco's goaltender for North Carolina. He's a guy you want to take to the net. Doesn't have very good speed, actually. Had a knee injury in high school.
They back up by the long sticks, and they keep possession. Beardsley comes across. Loves this end of the field. Right in front is Casey Powell. A little bit low, he picks it up. Trouble. Shot. And a big block by the defense. Cozy couldn't get it. Here comes Maryland. McGuire all the way to Chomo. In front, down hard. Goal! Hahn from Chomo. Hat trick for Hahn. And the freshman finisher puts Maryland up by 1 again.
Watch the replay, one end for the other. LaChapelle, number 6 for Maryland with the steal. They get the ball up the field quickly. Nice look right there by Pat McGuire, finding Chomo down low. Watch the fake right there. You can see it caught Rozier off balance, fell for the fake. Here's the tail end. Hahn with the fake, finishes near side. That play started with Pat McGuire. Syracuse gambling in the middle of the field, leaving themselves less down a man on the defensive end, and Hahn capitalizes.
Gambling instincts of Syracuse sometimes can burn them. And Maryland not hesitating when they get in transition to know that they have a man advantage going right into the cooker. Settled down. Casey Powell finally gets a matchup he might like a little more. Nimi now on Powell. Ball goes right through the Syracuse offense. Morrison backs up. Far side to Fietta. Fietta's so dangerous in the open field. Maryland puts Radeball against him. So Radeball sliding over Fietta when he's on the field at this point at least. So Radeball off of Casey Powell. Casey Powell thinks he likes this matchup. Powell came in, got a good shot. Graham Nemi was on him. Let's see if they balance back. Now they do.
They switch up. Graham Nemi's really a long stick defensive specialist. He plays midfielders. That time Powell did a nice job penetrating. Missed the net. Again, when you're shooting against a superior goalie like Doherty, you tend to aim for the pipe, aim for 1 inch or 2 instead of just shooting for the bulk of the net.
Superstar. Liccamelli took that one. Liccamelli, a newfound superstar. And that was right into the stick of Doherty. Really got to test Doherty better than that. The field drying out, sun coming out. This game will get faster as the field gets harder. Syracuse again making it very tough for Maryland to clear. Maryland has to be patient clearing because Syracuse is being very effective at just double teaming and getting the ball back. Yet again, inside, Powell can't get it. He goes high with the shot.
Roy Colsey has not been on the field yet in the second half. Number 3 for Syracuse. After the semifinal game, he suffered some dehydration. He took IV fluids after that game. He has not played yet in the second half.
Syracuse gets a goal. That one will count. Game tied at 6.
Davovit for Syracuse. So quick and so smooth around the cage. Scores his second goal of the game. Watch the replay. Here he is, being covered by Elfstrom. They both went to high school at Yorktown. Elfstrom loses his footing. Davovit finishes down low between the legs of Doherty. They played with each other 2 years at Yorktown. They won a high school state championship up in New York. Davovit gets the best of him there, and he gets the bragging rights. Watch the reaction. Coach Adele has got to be frustrated in his defense that time. Elfstrom fell down, and the slide was too late.
2 goals for Canada. He scored 5 minutes into the first quarter. For Syracuse, the first score then. He scores 5 minutes into the third quarter. First score for Syracuse in the second half. Tying it at 1 at the beginning of the game. Tying it 6 here. Oh, Casey Powell redirects. Beautiful job. Now showtime for him. Showing his little post-goal dance. Syracuse scores 2 goals in fast succession. They lead by 1.
The complete package. Casey Powell, Carthage, New York. The outstanding high school player in all of lacrosse last year. Watch the replay. This is Morrissey feeding Powell. Watch the quick hands. Doesn't waste much time. Doesn't fake. Shoots it right away. This play started with Fotopoulos from Syracuse throwing that check, and there's Morrissey scooping it up. Here's the tail end. Again, see the quickness on that release?
Didn't waste any time. He had to pull it to go 180 degrees with it. Very, very hard to do. Made it look easy. 2 goals scored within 15 seconds for Syracuse. Now they're back on top, 7-6. Syracuse again controlling the face-offs. So they're using different people. Long sticks helping out. Toby Rice.
Nice ground ball by Ryan Cummings, the transfer from Johns Hopkins. He was covered, managed to get the ball in his stick and hold on to it. Impressive.
Trouble there for Price. Toby Price was double teamed. throws the ball out of bounds. Maryland really on top of him. Udell giving some instructions to Graham Nemi.
Coach Simmons with his assistant John Desco in the back right there with a white shirt on.
3 face-offs in a row for Syracuse. Maryland needs to get effective clearing here so they can get some possession time. They're down by 1. Easy clear for Maryland as they take it up. Bill Rule, double team. Watch out, here comes Nealon. Big save. Ball kept alive, but Hahn steps in the crease.
Nealon gained an advantage right there. Off to the sideline. Whittick, 45 for Syracuse, slipped.
Rozier was big. Hug jab. Oh my gosh. Doherty comes out on the live. This is a replay shot right now. Meanwhile, I was watching the live play, and what you missed was a sensational save by Doherty. It was 1-on-1. But big play you saw in the replay was Rozier making a huge save.
Syracuse is starting to challenge every inch of real estate on this field.
And that's
their style, exactly. They're going to get out, they're going to play it, and if you can't handle that pressure, you're going to turn it over. We've seen Maryland now turn it over in a couple possessions. When it doesn't work, however, Maryland's going to get their fast breaks, and whether they capitalize or not, that's the key to this game.
Got to get good shots, and of course Rozier coming up huge with Nealon's last shot. Nealon had to take that. It was a well-timed shooting opportunity. 1-goal lead, under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Syracuse and their defense, Chad Smith coming down, almost took a shot. Now they move it around. Marcy against LaChapelle. Still haven't seen. There's Roy Colsey now on the crease. Colsey number 3 working inside. Now he comes out. Isolation. Maryland's defender there. Bonani. Stick defender.
Syracuse showed unusual patience in the late stages of their semifinal game.
Sullivan inside, feeds, and a goal by Kavovit. Sullivan very patient, and the cut by Kavovit well-timed. 8-6.
Kavovit hat trick. 3 goals. Watch him time it. Watch the time here. Watch him come off the pick in the middle of the field, and then watch the accuracy on this shot. There's no way Doherty's going to make this save. There's comes off the pick. Look at the accuracy. LaChapelle, number 6 for Maryland, tried to help out. And the ball right in the corner. Nothing the goaltender's going to do there. He's moving one way, and the shot goes the other. Kavovit stepping up in the championship game.
And he's doing it from a lot of different ways. He comes across the crease, he comes from behind, showing a lot of versatility. 2-goal lead now. Back and forth action for Syracuse and Maryland. Maryland opens up the half by scoring 2 goals, and then 3 straight for Syracuse. Makes it an 8-6 game penalty.
Cummings is going to be whistled for a holding violation. That's Coach Desco, the defensive coordinator for Syracuse. The heir apparent when Roy Simmons decides to hang it up. Take a look at Cummings. He's not happy about it in the penalty box.
They've had a great combination going. John Desco and Simmons.
Watch number 7 now. Watch the one-handed check right there. It's either a slash or a hold. See what they call. And you can see Desco and Cummings upset.
Maryland will have their 3rd opportunity and an extra man. They are 1 for 2 coming into this chance. It's a minute penalty. And a minute. Plenty of time to get a good shot. Right side now out at Bird Stadium. Shot goes past Kip Fulks, rather the feed on the line by LaChapelle. Offsides. They'll give it back to Syracuse. Yes? No. Offsides on Syracuse. Defender and attackman really towing the line. The call goes against Kavovit. Maryland resets. A little bit of a 3-3. They're all out in front of the goal. Everybody can get a shot on the goalie, Rozier.
12 and 13. Fulks and Bullen are the shooters from the outside.
There's a rocket. Rozier gets a piece of it and goes behind.
Bullen can shoot. That's his job. He's a specialist. That's all they bring him on the field for. He scored the first goal of this game.
15 seconds left on the penalty. See if they can get one more shot. Chomo from behind looks away, cross side, and look away feed, and that'll eat up the penalty entirely. Maryland still may get possession.
Beardsley with a nice check inside against Whipple. He really let him have it with his stick.
All even now, but Fulks has a little bit of an open field here. Como looks in front. He's got somebody up top. Boland's going to go off the field, so they'll bring a fresh player on. Getting the extra man player off. Falks one-on-one with Whittick.
Nice job defensively. Syracuse killing that penalty.
Double team because of the substitution from Maryland. Falks got speed. Can't get around Schmid. Schmid just chased him down. Here comes Beardsley. A little bit of a break. Counted it though. Can't collect it. Maryland goes the other way. Really tried to thread the needle on that pass. Check. Going out of bounds. Whipple picks it up. He didn't go out. Trouble now. Syracuse Schmid fell down. Whipple, a little bit of space.
Good time to settle for Maryland. Get the right matchups.
Well, that was the kind of situation where Syracuse usually gets a shot, but Maryland, good aggressive stick checks. Ball back. DeAndrea. Against Whittick to Schwartz. Let's see their matchup. Fietta's got Nealon. Nealon's a very, very smart player. Nealon will not take a shot unless he has it. He's got great vision to give it up. He gives it up. Oh, behind the back to an open net. DeAndrea had another easy shot because Rozier came out of the goal and he just misses the 36 square feet.
Not the play you want from that position in a game of this magnitude. He had time. You've got to be patient inside. Make the right play. That's going to cost Maryland. Nealon, great play to find him in there. You've got to capitalize.
Picked up in midair. Fake and a shot. And Rozier comes up huge on Chomo. Rozier looking like Doherty. The best against the best. That was the save of the game for Rozier. Huge. Keeping it an 8-6 game in favor of Syracuse. 5 minutes left in the third. 2 chances. One of them open net. They just missed a shot. And this one where they steal it. Shots now in favor, of course, Syracuse.
Quality shots. Those are 2 real quality shots. Later on in this game, they'll probably look to those plays. They could be deciding plays.
Now comes in off the sideline, picks up the ball. Now he's got Nealon against him. He's got room. Watch out! Big save by Doherty. Both goalies playing sensational ball. Each goalie making unbelievable saves to keep their team in it. Halsey, you know he's going to explode sooner or later. Andy can't stay with him, and that ball goes wide.
Casey Powell on that last play with a gorgeous split dodge. Just blowing by Nealon, and Doherty was up to the task with a kick save. 2 kick saves in a row by both these goalies. They're hot.
And Maryland with a couple opportunities that talked about them regretting that they don't get them. You don't get them very often.
No, not a quality chance like that.
Syracuse controls behind. Doug Jackson has it. Doherty with 18 saves currently, so he is really being challenged by Syracuse. He'll end up with 20 plus if he wins or loses. Nealon checks from behind, tackled by Syracuse player Jackson. And a penalty now. It'll be a delayed call. Maryland might get a free shot. Can they keep the ball going? Mazzabell with a great fake. He's got to keep it going. If they drop it, they'll lose their chance. And they do lose it with that bad pass.
Going to be a foul against Jackson for Syracuse. Jackson's mother works at Syracuse University. He was a former ball boy during the early 80s. Coach Adele on the sideline. Look at the extra man opportunities. Maryland 1 for 3. The last time they had an extra man, they didn't even get a quality shot. Syracuse 1 for 4 on their extra man.
And Syracuse early in the game, a 2-minute penalty, they got no goals on. So both defenses really establishing themselves. Just puts a little bit of extra pressure on every goal. Syracuse usually playing in the teams, high teams. This game will be in the low teams if it gets there. They start in the 1-3-2, moving around. 2-3-1 from the top. Now it looks like a 1-4-1. They've got 4 guys in the middle. They can't find Hahn. Good stick checks, took it away. Spread it out again. 2 guys up top, 3 in the middle, 1 behind. Chomo sneaking. Chomo trying to work it into a tight space here. He didn't have much of anything. He just tried to cram it in there.
Syracuse doing a nice job here. Very aggressive for a man-down defense. They'll come out and play you. They've done a good job. Fotopoulos, Beardsley, Smith, Schmid, and Fietta. Give them a lot of credit.
Team's all even. Here comes Smith. He's coming right down the field. He wants the ball back. Schmid wants it. Schmid is staying there. Top shot. And it goes wide by Fietta, but backed up by Kavovich.
Fietta had him beat on that shot. Doherty not getting there with his stick. Take a look at Mark Fietta. He's one of the keys to the Syracuse team, especially if Colsey is not at full strength. And it appears as if Roy Colsey is not going to play as much here in the second half.
Dehydration problem more serious than they thought. Possibly. We don't have the official word on that. Roy Colsey is, by most people's account, the best midfield position. He earns first-team All-American this year. We just got the announcement at halftime. Two players on the field right now, also first-team All-Americans, the new listing. Rick Beardsley for Syracuse and Ray DeBall for Maryland.
And their goaltender, Brian Doherty, voted first-team All-American.
Well-deserved. Gavin backs it up. Syracuse keeps it alive. They have a 2-goal lead. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Lee Belsmo, quick Kessick. Crispy leaves on the sideline, and we are getting close to the fourth quarter with Syracuse playing very patiently when they have to, and they're running when they need to.
Yeah, the key here when they control the ball on offense, it rests their defense, giving Beardsley, Smith, and Schmidt and Fotopoulos the ability to have more reserves so they can get out and play more aggressive defensively.
Big check by Maryland. Ball still loose. And they can't get it. Great save by Doherty. Maryland almost killed themselves with keeping the ball alive, but Doherty comes up and saves them again. They've had trouble clearing all day, and they continue to have trouble. Ball loose. The great hitting, aggressive play of Maryland pays dividends. In front, Maryland trying to control it. Can't do it. Had a good chance for Bordy, but Bordy couldn't collect it. That ball is full of grease. Beardsley finally. Beardsley giving it off to the wing. Licomelli inside to Beardsley. He couldn't pick it up. Now Beardsley will be tired. If Maryland can get it down, they'll have trouble getting the long sticks back. Do they have any help? There they go. Off to the races. McGuire, he can't collect. Finally, they get back. Beardsley chugs back in. Now Hillgardner's got Beardsley. Beardsley's just run 2 sprints. Hillgardner, now Beardsley saying, come on.
I think everyone's tired at this point. It seemed like the ball was square there for a while. No one could catch it.
It was unbelievable. And Beardsley came back to challenge Hillgardner, even though he ran 2 sprints and said, come on, buddy. Hillgardner now. Beardsley against him. Trying to find him close. That's Bordy. Bordy had tripped. Evans showing good speed. He's as quick as anybody on the midfield.
Great ground ball, man. Evans, 10 ground balls in the semifinals.
Crawford coming out to the midfield. He's really an attackman, so Dick Udell using that 4 tackling scenario. And here comes down the middle. A middle substitution for Maryland. Wide open in the middle. Let's see if he can stick one. Whipple to the wing. Oh, a great save by Rozier. Well conceived. Crawford gets the shot. They substituted from the middle of the field. They got their shot cue. Rozier has been superb. Syracuse on the back of the great goalie Rozier maintains a 2-goal lead at College Park. Fourth quarter coming up.
Okay, so I'll welcome back and then interview and then throw to Leaf. Correct?
NCAA Division I lacrosse history won back-to-back championships with back-to-back perfect seasons. And you named them.
Yeah? Why, you want to wait?
Dan Murgott, he shaved it off last night though.
I saw him earlier today. He did shave it off. Are we still doing this? Mike just said, can you wait? 8-6 Syracuse. Back-to-back championships with Salisbury State, right? The Salisbury State is... Yeah. That's okay.
Give me the team.
Okay.
Oh, 25th anniversary team, I'm sorry. Okay.
We don't have an All-American graphics bill for that, do we?
No. Backup goalie Lafferty had to go to the bathroom. We're back at College Park. Record crowd getting ready for the fourth quarter, the 25th anniversary, and this is the 25th anniversary team for NCAA lacrosse.
Take a look on attack. Tom Cafaro, Mike French from Cornell, Eamon McEnany, Cornell, Nelson, the great feeder from Syracuse, Mike O'Neill, outstanding athlete for Hopkins, and Jack Thomas back in the early days. Midfield, Jonathan Reese, who starred in 1990 for Yale, Frank Urso, the four-time first-team All-American, the Gate Boys from Syracuse, and Brad Kotz, Dressel, Kowalczyk, and Schneck from Hopkins.
And then on defense, a lot of Hopkins players, starting with DiTomaso, Greenberg, Petramala, maybe the best ever. Haas, North Carolina, Kane from Cornell, and Morrow, a recent grad of Princeton.
And in the cage, the goaltenders, Bacigalupo, two-time national champion for Princeton, Mackesy in the 70s, Sears from the early 80s, 2 national championships, Federico with 3 national titles for Hopkins in the late 70s, and the great Larry Quinn, probably the best out of that bunch, 84 and 85.
Twice MVP of the tournament.
Twice MVP of the entire season.
Twice MVP of the entire season, and also the goalie of the world team last year for his 3rd time.
That's right.
Face off 9-7 in favor of Maryland. Here, almost a shot. Hillgardner had a right-handed shot, took himself like out of the picture almost, went to the left hand, and didn't have much to shoot at.
You remember early, Maryland was giving Rozier a lot of clears, and I thought it would tire him out, but he's played better as this game has moved along. His best quarter was the 3rd quarter.
He was sensational. Now that was unusual. Chomo challenged Beardsley. Chomo went one-on-one with Rick Beardsley, took him right to the goal. Didn't get a clean shot because of the stick check, but interesting that he would challenge him early on, maybe a different tack offensively.
The best way to challenge Beardsley is to go right at him, go right at the goal. If he makes a mistake, you're going to score. The worst thing he can do is jog around the perimeter and let him pepper you with his checks.
Whipple doing the same thing and takes a shot and goes wide. So offensively, Maryland with a much different strategy here in the 4th quarter. They're not moving the perimeter. Looks like they might be going one-on-one, doing a little bit more vertical offense. Stats through the 3rd.
Look at the shots. 45 for Syracuse, only 26 for Maryland. Ground balls about even. Face-offs favor Maryland, and saves. Both goalies played outstanding. 19 for Maryland, 13 for Syracuse.
Nalen against Toby Price. This is another good matchup. Let's see if Nalen takes him to the cooker. Gets inside, around the back, and can't get it to fall. Chomo backs up. Backdoor shot. Whipple can't get it either. Rozier is really everywhere he has to be. He is playing at the top of his game. 2-goal lead for Syracuse. Fultz against Cummings. Speed against speed. Ball down. Cummings, watch out behind you. Here you go. Toby Price. Good speed there. Whipple, the attackman down there playing defense, and Whipple pushes him off the field. So Whipple was caught playing defense, gets a check right at the right moment.
Well, defensively, Nalen did a good job hustling, but Radeball, the key to that play, he came halfway. He made Price make a decision whether to shoot or whether to pass to the teammate. Price seemed confused and threw the ball out of bounds. Radeball playing with Price's mind as he attacked.
Maryland again having trouble clearing. Syracuse eating him up, making him pay for it. Great double teams. Cummings coming in. Big hit by Fultz to the head. That'll be a minute. And the ball picked up by Radeball. Fultz went up with his elbow to the head. That would have been a good hit probably if it was low.
Watch this. Gets him up in the head area right there. Oh, that is brutal and blatant. Nice call by the officials. Cummings, not the tallest player, 5'8". Here's a kid, played for Johns Hopkins last season, was a 4th-string midfielder. A year later, he goes home to Syracuse, where he grew up, and now he's playing in a national title game. His style definitely more suited towards Roy Simmons than towards Tony Seaman at Johns Hopkins University.
Could be the game of his life right here. 2 goals ahead, Syracuse is the chance to make it. This team has a chance to make it 3. Doherty right there. Pressure on him again. Halsey starts in the 2-3-1. Each team 1 goal in 4 attempts. Now they rotate 2 behind. Designated shooter with Halsey on that side. Oh, they tried to get it back. Halsey with really a bad feed. He's in a scoring opportunity. He tried to skip a man, and there was no lane for him to pass to.
Now, Maryland did a nice job getting their sticks up, forcing that pass high. They've got to clear it, though. They've had problems all day here.
McGuire gets it back to Doherty. He's looking for help. The attack's got to come up and give him a little help. They break out. They're being defensed very closely. Hillgardner being defensed and cannot get it.
Man-to-man defense all over the field for Syracuse. Schmidt not giving Hillgardner an inch. Coach Adele has got to develop some kind of strategy that will enable him to clear the ball better.
So Maryland again blows it clear. Roy Simmons. pace favoring Maryland, but time of possession definitely in control of Syracuse. They have ridden with ferocity. Back to the extra man play. They had a chance to blow it open, but they didn't. They give it back to Colsey and company. Now Raider ball's got it. Lob shot up. Here come the Terps. Brian Reese. Reese sees Hahn. Hahn's open up top. Chomo finds Hahn. Oh, he couldn't get inside. Actually, Hahn was higher. Tried to get it to Bonelli. Bonani rather. Bonani came across with the cut. He went over top of him.
Chad Smith for Syracuse did a nice job. Chomo likes to force feed. He's got 104 career assists coming into this game. That's 5th all time at the University of Maryland. Chomo went to high school at St. Mary's, which is in Annapolis. About a 20 to 30 minute ride down the road.
About 4 minutes from my house. Rozier, candidate for MVP. He has been unbelievable, matching Doherty in the second half when he's had to. Maryland now trying to break up the clear themselves. Nalen picks it up in the middle. He's being dragged by Marcy. Now Malen's got some space. He's got a matchup he likes. Dishes it into Chomo. Chomo immediately looks out to the crease.
Maryland's a little too tight in front of the cage. They got to create a little space in there for Hahn. Too many players in front of the goal. No space for that feed.
They were set up with some long sticks and defensive people. Now they'll balance up with more of an offensive look. Andy Sheritz. Always left, not too far up the road in Baltimore under the 13-man defense. Now Colsey gets a chance to play a little defense against Fulks. So the speed of Fulks against the great athletic ability of Colsey. Skip Fulks just ran right by Colsey. And they're going to get it to Syracuse.
Good hustle by Beardsley, but Rozier with the big save right there. Fulks blew by Colsey. Colsey looks to be really suffering from that dehydration. Watch the hustle by Rick Beardsley. Known for his flamboyant play, but there he sells out for the Syracuse Orange.
Doing a great job of playing under control, Beardsley is. Hahn picks up the loose ball with a great stick check in. That was replaced, or returned by Syracuse. Again, it's Beardsley with the loose ball. Colsey picks it up. Let's see if he's got enough room for him. Scoreless in the last. How many minutes was that?
16:30. Maryland hasn't scored. Rozier's been outstanding. Syracuse has scored 3 in a row.
Colsey getting hammered. Loose ball push. The National Spelling Bee, the oldest and largest program celebrating academic excellence. Thursday, June 1st, 3 p.m. on the Deuce. Academic excellence in the Spelling Bee, and also, of course, here, a very big part of the programs of both Syracuse and Maryland. Syracuse with a 2-goal lead. They've really kept Maryland from getting the good scores, and the big reason is Rozier. Rozier has been sensational. He was okay in the first half, not bad at all. He has been unbelievable in the second half. Shot by Syracuse.
This is the point in the semifinal game that Syracuse was so impressive. They protected their lead. They rested their defense. Rozier came out with a big save. Let's see if they can do that again, controlling the ball in their half-field offense. They're known for running down transition style, but if they can kill a minute or two every possession here, they've got a great chance to get their 6th national title.
Colsey again working out front. Big save by Doherty. Maryland's had the shots this quarter, 6-0 before this last flurry.
Interference with the goaltender there. That's a play-on call. If Maryland gets the clear successfully, they let them go with it. They didn't. Vieta was in the crease and interfered. Watch the replay right here. Colsey with the shot. Doherty save. That's the interference right there. When the goalie's in the crease, you can't make contact.
See LaChapelle put up his hands. LaChapelle nailed him a little bit. Pushed the guy in there. And he puts his hands up. No touch. Don't know if he pushed him in, but he was certainly begging forgiveness. Bright sun, quite a different look to this field than when the game started. It was overcast, a little bit wet. Doherty 20 saves now. He had a personal record, 23 in the semis. Maryland working one-on-one, good stick, wide open. Here comes the rocket. Oh, they go across. Rozier has made them think now about their shots. Farmer had a great shot. He goes all the way across the front of the mouth of the goal, out of bounds.
You got to take those shots with time and room. A 12-yard shot's a good shot. Rozier getting to the head of Farmer. Farmer looked for Hillgartner on the far side. A little too much mustard also. That pass was sizzling.
Too tricky. You had the shot, go ahead and take it. Give Rozier your best. That's what the coaches, I'm sure, are reinforcing in Farmer. 9 minutes left, 2-goal lead for Syracuse. They've allowed a lot of shots of late on Rozier, but he has been tough. LaChapelle playing defense against Cavavit. 47-32 in favor.
Cavavit going to the goal. He's got 3 goals. Just missed. Fans on the far side had a great angle there. You can hear the, missed that one by about 3 inches.
Maryland hasn't scored in 17 minutes. We should thank Rozier for that. Fietta locking up against the short stick defense of McGuire. Sheretz. Marcy out to Fietta. Fietta would like to get a little more space. There he takes one. He finds the net. Doctor, you can't believe it. There wasn't much to shoot at, but Fietta found it. 9-6 up by 3. His second goal of the day.
Nice placement here, and he uses the defenseman as a bit of a screen. Doherty opens up that inside. You'll get a nice angle here. Watch Doherty come off the pipe just a bit. He can't believe it went in. He's upset. That's one that he has been saving in the semis and the finals. That could be the difference in a game like this. Watch it again. Fietta, not much of an angle. I think it got a piece of Doherty's thigh and then deflected into the goal. Fietta is a kid who has really stepped up in the playoffs. You've got to be impressed the way he's played big in the big game.
And that shot wrapped around the defense. Hard to read for a goalie when you wrap it around the defensive player. He has been sensational when they've needed him. Bolsey being marked beautifully, not a factor. Fietta's the big guy and has been. Ball loose. Bryce. Maryland continuing to get possession, but giving it back to Syracuse, or Syracuse taking it back from them. Watch out. In close, shot on Doherty and a score. Morrissey confused Doherty a little bit at the last moment. After checking behind him, takes the shot, a 4-goal lead for the Orangemen.
Morrissey, the opportunist. He's the most veteran attackman on this Syracuse team. 40% shooting percentage, does the job here. Shows some versatility. As a sophomore last year had 32 goals. This year, he's got 30. Watch the replay. Notice one thing. The stick protection is key. He realizes that he's being chased. Doesn't bring his stick up until the last second. Doherty looked like he guessed low on that shot. Watch it again. He sees the defense there the whole way, protects his stick, brings it up into the shooting position, and gets rid of it quickly. Had he hung his stick there, he would have lost the ball. Jim Morrissey going to assist. Maryland's got to look for a timeout pretty soon. Syracuse has scored 5 goals in a row.
And they lead by 4. Maryland scored the first 2 goals of the half. Hahn gets 2. And since then, Rozier has tightened up. And Syracuse really starting to add to their offensive lead with great transition in the midfield.
Syracuse is on an 8-2 run. Scored the first of the last 3 goals of the second quarter. Then Maryland had 2, and then they scored 5 more.
The Gamelli, superstar now, gives it off to the wing of Cavavit. Maryland's going to have to start just to step up the intensity a little bit as far as possession. In front, Gamelli! Huge goal, his second of the day. 5-goal lead.
Nick Licamelli, this is a guy that Roy Simmons will be talking about for years to come. Cut as a freshman. 4 goals in the semifinals, 2 today. Syracuse with 6 unanswered. Watch the replay. Watch the placement to the off-stick side of Doherty. It seems as if Syracuse now is kind of waking up to the fact that Doherty is a left-hander. Look at the placement in the off corner there. No way you're going to make this save. Again, Cavavit having a sensational game from behind the goal. Licamelli on the right-handed cut, little jump shot action there. Nothing Doherty is going to do. Licamelli, what a story.
Meanwhile, back in the face-off, 5-goal lead. What about that timeout you mentioned? Why wouldn't Maryland stop this run? They only have 1 left. You have 3 in the game. You have to have 1 each half. 6-0 run, 18 minutes and 37 seconds. So they've got to stop it somehow. LaChapelle picks up the pass. Can they clear it? No, Syracuse all over him. And a whistle. Syracuse starting to get now a little pumped up.
Sullivan, the senior from Scarsdale, 21. Not a stranger to physical contact. Kid's got great speed. Watch the replay now. LaChapelle makes a nice play. The ball will come loose. There's one hit by Sullivan. Watch him again. He'll go back for 2. Oh.
Well, that's shot by McGuire.
McGuire should go to the box, and look how pumped up. Sullivan's fired up. Senior looking for his second title. These seniors for Syracuse, they've been here before. They won the title once. They've lost 2 playoff games by 1 goal. Coach Adele got to be upset. No timeout after that Syracuse run, and now
McGuire's in the box because of that Babe Ruth type swing.
You know, if you don't use your timeouts when you have to, the game's not going to mean anything with 3 minutes left when you have your timeout in your pocket. Definite frustration foul by that man right there, Pat McGuire.
It'll be another extra man opportunity for Syracuse, and the hole is getting very deep for Maryland. Under 7 minutes to go. They've got to come up big defensively again. Syracuse starts in a 3-3. Everybody out front, and they rotate Kavanaugh behind. This is their 6th opportunity. They only scored once. They're 1 for 5. Extra man. Inside, close finish, and the defense is starting to lose belief. Syracuse getting open all over the place. Jackson gets one right in his face, and the defense is not sliding as aggressively. They are, I think, losing a little bit of heart.
Yeah, they were standing around a bit too much there. Jackson with the goal. Kavovit with another assist. That's Jackson. Jamesville DeWitt, sophomore, right there, tiptoeing the crease. Poor defense. Maryland standing around watching the action instead of making plays. Jackson's the all-time leading scorer at Jamesville DeWitt, which is a suburb of Syracuse. They produce some great high school players. This kid is a future star for Syracuse. He's only a sophomore.
Maryland now faced with the unenviable task of making up 6 goals against the Great Orangemen. And they are getting loose and having a ball. 7 unanswered goals in less than 20 minutes for Syracuse after Hahn scored 2 to open up the second half. 6:20 left. This looks like an impossible job for Maryland. They finally failure to advance the ball. So now with Maryland getting the ball, they're going to have to try to clear it.
Looks like the wheels are starting to fall off the cart for Maryland. Unforced error there on the clear. And Elfstrom with just overthrowing Radeball on the near side.
They've really had a tough time clearing, and some of those you have no fault for. That is unbelievable.
All day it's killed Maryland, but you got to credit Syracuse. A lot of hustle from this attack. They can score, but they're playing a more complete game today by making it tough for Maryland to clear.
Now you're going to see a different kind of Syracuse team. They came in with great respect for Maryland, rightfully so. Dougherty's been so tough. Now they've got a 6-goal lead. They're going to start showboating a little bit because this is a showtime team. And with a 6-goal lead, they can start to loosen up their offense.
Yeah, they're going to play a little ring around the rosy here, zip the ball around the outside. When Maryland overcommits, they'll go to the goal.
Dougherty with a huge block. He doesn't know where it is, right behind him. Finally picks it up. Outlet. If you're a Maryland player, you've got to have somebody ignite a little bit of a fire. They need a shot and a goal in a hurry. Transition to the wing. Hilgardner.
Tough defense by Schmid right there. Great body positioning, using his legs.
That'd be a foul against Schmid. Maryland hasn't scored since the first 3 minutes of the half.
Schmid jogging to the penalty box. Really the least flamboyant, the least talked about defenseman for Syracuse, but he gets the job done. Very respected within the lacrosse community from the coaches and his peers, the players.
Maryland 1 for 4. This will be their 5th attempt. Fox doesn't waste any time with that rip. Shomo behind. Maryland obviously needs to score 1 here to get back in this thing. Bullen on the right hand, far side, number 12. Not a lot of ball motion here. Now Bullen's got it. Hahn's inside. Kid Fox is not taking a great shot there, but at least he's doing something.
That's not going to go.
Syracuse. Coming in, Chad Smith. Ball back down on the field. They're getting faster off the pipe. That would have gone for Smith. A follow-up shot and a goal. Kavovit getting out of hand. 4 goals for Kavovit. 7-goal lead for the Orangemen. And Q, it's almost like when the field started drying out, Syracuse seemed to get a little faster and really has opened up the offense.
They've had the legs here in the second half. They're making plays. Coach Simmons, before halftime, said, hey, we're about to play our best ball, and they have. Watch Chad Smith now. He will get the rebound here and ping the pipe. Watch him ping the pipe. But Kavovitz in the right place at the right time. Potential MVP, Kavovitz, 4 goals. He's got a number of assists. 3 assists right there, 7 points for Kavovitz. Yorktown High School, tremendous programs, Central New York. This kid's doing the job.
Somewhere in that voting for MVP, you've got to think about Rozier, because when the game was tough, it was 8-6 in that area, Rozier came out with 2 or 3 point-blank saves, and then his team just started adding on the goals. 8 straight for Syracuse. Gives them a 7-goal lead. Nealon. Nealon working out front. Syracuse being very patient. Good position by Sullivan. Ball goes out of bounds before Beardsley can get it.
Sullivan playing some tough D on the near side. That's Nealon. Look at the shot differential. Syracuse 55 has got it by 21 shots. Greg Nealon, the senior from Maryland. Real blue-collar, lunch pail type player that Coach Adele loves to have at Maryland.
Wears his heart on his sleeve. He gives you all he can. 5-0 in the fourth. That's a big difference. You see Maryland is right with him. Maryland scores those 2 goals in the third. In the first 3 minutes of the third, hasn't scored since. Rozier gobbles it up. Kip Falks, at least he's taking the shots. I mean, his shots have been not the highest percentage shots, but he wants the game to turn.
Might be trying too hard in that regard. Those are very savable shots. Low to low all the way. Rozier's got his radar on those easy.
Under 4 minutes. Syracuse now comfortably in control of this game. Nobody has won 5 national championships. Roy Simmons' team have. This would be number 6. No coach has won 5. So if your alma mater has a little bit more than that. Overall, the history of lacrosse, Hopkins, one of the best. Roy Colsey, haven't heard much from him, but his team's winning, and that's all he cares about. Certainly gets a lot of attention. Syracuse enjoying it more and more as the weather gets hotter and the field gets drier. Great physical work for Leccamelli, who's become the new star.
Call coming up against Maryland.
And Leccamelli looks sensational.
Crowd favorite also out of West Tennessee High School, which is right near Syracuse.
The number 3 seed has won the last 3 championships. How about that? Princeton, 92, 94, Syracuse, 93. And guess who's number 3 seed this year, folks? You got it. The Orangemen got that magic spot. That's probably why Roy didn't mind it at all. He did like it because it gave him a chance to come in as an underdog against Virginia if he got that far, and he did. He had to beat Princeton. He had to beat Virginia. And now he's got to beat Maryland, and he looks to be in good shape to do it. Timeout called by Maryland. 2:55 left. Syracuse looks like they might win this one. Stay with us. Tennis sheet. I just want to read it before I read it.
You gonna give that sheet to Dennis? They say 80 here, Leif. Nearly 80,000. What's next year's Final Four?
Rutgers is here. Then Rutgers. A full house celebrating the 25th anniversary of NCAA lacrosse, and they came in record numbers, 26,229 today, a championship game record, beating the old one by about 2,000, and overall in this championship weekend, close to 80,000 folks, upping the old record by 6,000. This, folks, is the highest attended championship for NCAA except Division 1A football until this year. Now only basketball for a one-day event beats lacrosse in the NCAA competitions. 2 for 6, an extra man for Syracuse. They get another chance here. Kavovit can't beat Doherty. This game was going the tempo of Maryland the whole way. Rozier stepped up and played tough when he had to, and Syracuse has just added on goal after unanswered goal. Maryland keeps the ball down on their offensive end. Nimi stays there with a long stick.
Nice stick work by Smith inside. Really a team effort for the Syracuse defense. To hold Maryland, they were averaging 15 goals per game. To hold Maryland to only 6.
Casey Powell wanted to be off to the races. He was playing a little bit of defense. Both teams just not sure where they're going to put the ball. Whipple. Got a player behind him wide open. There he is. Todd Evans drops it down to Nealon, and he pokes it home. Finally, Maryland gets on the board with goal number 7. 2 minutes to go. It's not going to be enough. Transition goal back to within 6.
Nice play by Whipple, sensing the pressure, realizing that he had some teammates substituting. Hilgartner, unselfish, gets it to Nealon, who fires it past Rozier, who has been outstanding for Syracuse. Nealon, senior captain. First goal today, 21 on the season. He had a goal in the semifinals. Tough kid.
First goal in 25 minutes for Maryland, and that's been the story of the game. It was a very close game. Hahn scores the first 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Since then, Rozier and defense locked down on the attack of Maryland, and Syracuse comfortably ahead. What a year, though, for the Terrapins. And the obvious hats off to the Syracuse Orangemen, who do it like nobody else.
One of the seniors for Syracuse, Sullivan, gutty player. They've stepped up. They lost 2 games early in March. Since then, they picked up the intensity in practice. They've gone undefeated the rest of the way.
Roy Simmons says he wasn't quite sure if this was a good team, a great team. He said they may be just a mediocre team after Virginia shellacked them in the dome, but they came back and have looked good. Bounce, shot, and a goal. That again was Nealon, so Nealon gets 2 in a row. Maryland gets a little bit closer, back to within 5, still over a minute to go in the game. Mathematically, next to impossible.
Watch the replay. Folks to Hahn to Nealon. Nice passing. That's typical Maryland this season. A lot of quick, short passes, and they finish when you give them the opportunity.
Nealon gets 2 goals in a row toward the end of the game of this half. Hahn had 2 to start the half. In between, it was all Syracuse. Kavovit had 3 in that little run. Lincoln had his. Morrison, Powell, Jackson, Fietta, all scoring in that important second half run. Now Maryland gets Pasqualina in there to face off.
Fotopoulos is going to be whistled for a slashing violation. A little kayak action. They call this check a kayak because you choke up on the stick, much like you do when you're rowing a kayak with equal distance between your hands and either side of the stick. It's going to be a whistle for a foul there. Coach Adels really should be commended this year. He's done an outstanding job. Potential coach of the year for Maryland. Really very limited hopes coming into the season for the squad. If they've played from start to finish the season, they've competed in every single game.
We talked about it, 7-6 last year. Great job. And that quickly, Hahn puts it back in. Wow, they're making this score respectable. A couple more, and it's going to be a little scary for Syracuse. 4 goals for Hahn, 13-9. They're back to within 4 with 50 seconds left in the game. So they've scored 3 in about 2 minutes.
Here's Hahn, highly recruited Georgetown prep. Georgetown and Loyola of Maryland wanted him. Maryland got him, and Coach Adel was really forced to put him in the lineup early this season because of his success that he had in practice. It's really against his philosophy of playing freshman players. 4 goals today, 36 on the season, sets a freshman record here at Maryland.
And Hugh, I don't think he's going to have that freshman don't play rule anymore. That would be my guess. He's got some great productivity out of freshmen. Whipple and Hahn on the top of the list. Toby Price gets a huge face-off with 40 seconds left. Maryland fighting for the ball behind the back from Radaball. They'd like to get another one on here. board. He gets it checked out by the aggressive defense of Schmidt.
Easy.
Timeout called by Syracuse.
Good call, brother. Syracuse, timeout.
So 20 seconds left. They call a timeout. NHL action continues Thursday night on ESPN when the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Detroit Red Wings in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Catch all the excitement 7:30 Thursday night on ESPN. Well, Q, we've had timeouts called in every game that wasn't a game in the last minute for some reason. Seems to be a fad.
I think Cummings called that timeout. I think he was afraid of losing possession of the ball. He turned to the official, and I think he called timeout. Syracuse now savoring the moment. You know, the Syracuse program really came into prominence with the building of the Carrier Dome. In the early 80s, they won the national title in 1983 at Rutgers University in what was an outstanding game. They came back from 7 goals down in that game, beat Hopkins, played for the national title 84-85, won 3 in a row with the Gate brothers in the late 80s. A lot of people thought that they'd fall off after the Gate brothers graduated, the 2 Canadians, but they haven't. They've won now 2 titles since the graduation of Gary and Paul Gate.
Matter of fact, with a couple different breaks, this could be, Roy Simmons reminds us, a 4, or not a 3-peat, a 4-repeat or whatever.
They've lost 2, this senior class has lost 2 one-goal playoff games in their career, one of them being an overtime game last year to Virginia in the semifinals.
The other one, a last-second goal.
They're 2 goals away from being 4 in a row, that's right. But this is the preeminent program in Division I lacrosse.
They have set the standard, especially offensively. They're a crowd favorite with great style, great flair. And they are the new Division I champion. 12 seconds left.
Casey Powell stepping out of that box. You see that line right there. With less than 2 minutes, you got to keep it in the offensive box.
That'll do it. Syracuse wins the 95 championship. Syracuse celebrating as they should. A tremendous day for them. They played patiently. They played with flair. They played with excitement. They've done it all this year in 1995.
They played such a smart game. Their goaltender, Rozier, came up with a big save. Their defense was swarming. Held Maryland to 6 goals midway through the 4th quarter. Maryland got a couple of garbage time. There's Coach Udell around his squad. And Syracuse celebrates their 6th national title.
Roy Simmons and Syracuse should be congratulated. They did it the hard way. They beat a great Virginia team, came in here and beat the best defense by most people's count in Division I. They are the new champs. They win by 4. We'll be back in just a moment from College Park.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test. There I am. Okay. Stand right over there so I can see that sheet. Fine, whatever you want. You're the camera dude. I just talk. He's here. We're ready. Here we go, about 10 seconds.
On the Memorial Day.
Yes. Forget the 500. I'd rather be here. The 25th anniversary of the NCAA men's lacrosse program, and what an excellent way to wrap up a wonderful wonderful weekend. The Division I championship goes to Syracuse. The final score, the Orangemen 13, the Maryland Terrapins 9. Joining me now on the field is the coach of the Orangemen, Roy Simmons. Roy, it's an emotional win for you. The only coach in Division I to win 6 national titles. Seemed like when the field got drier, your team got faster and the offense more potent.
We grew up this season. We really did. We had a slow start coming out of the gate, but we caught fire. A lot of heart, a lot of generic names, and we just put it together as a team, and we just didn't look back, starting mid-season.
This is your 25th anniversary as the head coach of Syracuse, and there's been a lot of talk about retirement.
No, well, if I can contribute to the game somehow, if the kids still hear me, I'll remain as long as my health holds. But, you know, last year at this time, my dad was with me, and I lost him last summer. And I know where he is. He's watching today. I had to apologize last year. I got knocked out on Saturday. I know he'll celebrate with me tonight. He was the coach ahead of me.
He was definitely with you today. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful time for all of us down here on the field covering these NCAA Lacrosse Championships, record crowds. And Leaf, I know you feel the same way.
Well, Christy, I've seen the Syracuse team win over the last 12 years that I've done these championships. Been fortunate enough to do so. Quinn, I've seen them win every way possible. They've had the big superstars. They've had it on the defensive end. They've had it on the offensive end. They always do it with flair, but they always do it.
This is a complete package of Syracuse from top to bottom, goaltending, defense. I haven't seen a Syracuse defense like this ever. Smart attack play, and they were well coached. You know, they really improved as the season progressed. They played their best ball in the playoffs.
Our hats off to Syracuse. It's been a fantastic weekend. Maryland needs to be congratulated as well. For Christy Lee and Quint Kesnick, I'm Lee Felsma. Hope you enjoyed our championship weekend. The 25th anniversary for NCAA lacrosse has been a record breaker. Goodbye, everybody.